Hello, Amazing Spider Talk patrons. This is the video editor, Alex Galucki, the adjectiveless Alex Galucki, I should say. And happy holidays to each and every single one of you, and a happy new year. And as my gift to you, I am going to be grading and reviewing every single suit in Insomniac's Spider-Man 2. And thankfully, I don't have to do this alone. Because with me today, this is his gift, his curse. Who is he? He's Carlos. Say hello, Carlos.
Oh, hello. Hello. Happy to be here. Love this game. Love a lot of these suits. I'm sure we will be in complete agreement about them. um, but yeah, I'm excited to get into it.
As am I, Carlos. Thank you for joining us today. And lastly, there's more. There is more. Because joining us, he missed the part where it's his problem. It is my brother, Chris. Say hello, Chris.
Hello, world.
All right. How are we all doing today?
I just woke
Doing
up.
all right. Yeah.
Excellent. All right, so my first question to you all is this. Have you all beaten this game?
Yes.
Have you platinumed it?
Uh,
Yes.
Okay. I have not platinumed it. I've 100%ed it, but I've not platinumed the game.
What are you doing? Come
I
on.
know. So anyways, like I said at the top, we are going to be reviewing and grading every single suit in this game between Peter Parker and Miles Morales. If you have the deluxe edition, which I do not, there are a total of 78 suits in the game. And that's again between Peter Parker and Miles Morales, and we're going to get into them. All right, so at the top, we're going to discuss the Peter Parker suits. So first up is Advanced Suit 2.0. So this is the newer version of the classic PS4 suit. And I know it's different. I could tell the logo is slightly different and there's some changes here and there. And I don't know about you guys, but when they first showed off the first PS4 suit, I wasn't a huge fan of just how, like, bold it was with the white and everything. It took some time to adjust to it. But since then, I guess, this suit represents this version of Spider-Man, which I've come to really enjoy. I quite like it, so I don't know if my feelings are that much different than the first suit, but I think it's a good suit. I think it fairly represents this character well without it feeling too busy, which we'll get to a lot of alternate suits that feel entirely too busy.
Yeah, I really like the suit too. I like it more than the first one, which I wasn't expecting. Because like when they released the trailer, the like teaser trailer for this game, it's kind of like the white stuff looked like it was just kind of sewed into the suit. Like it looked like a T-shirt almost. It didn't really look like it was part of a uniform. But after playing around with it and just like looking at it up close, like it looks a lot better. And I love how the colors pop more on this compared to the first game. Like the first game looks so flat compared to this one. I mean, it's still good, but and yeah, I think it's the white spider has become a good like symbol identifier for this version of Spider-Man.
I agree. How about you, Carlos?
I like absolutely adore this suit. I think it's like such a huge improvement over the first version. Which like when I played the first game, I ended up using like the classic suit more.
Hmm.
But in this game, I didn't even touch the classic suit, and I ended up using this suit probably just as much as like other suits that we'll discuss later that I was really excited to use. But I remember even in like the marketing lead up to the game, whenever they would release images of this suit, I would geek out. I love like the new white accents. I love how they streamlined the arms and how they fit the spider into the torso better. Like, and that even the eyes are like slightly different. I adore this suit. This is like S tier for me if we're already doing that. This is up there. One of my favorites
Yeah,
in the
I mean,
game
like
for
real
sure.
quick. I mean, this was also the suit I used the most in the game, except for the parts where it got switched on me due to spoilers. But uh, yeah, I think this is a really great suit. Like you were saying, Chris, I agree. The darker reds are what really make it stand out to me the most. I would go A for this personally. I think it's a good evolution of the Spider-Man sort of classic idea in your head of what Spider-Man looks like without it going too far. I think that's how I'd put it. How about you, Chris?
I was gonna say S.
Oh,
Yeah, this is. It's even though it's not my favorite suit in the game, it's the one that I did use the most. Maybe that's just because of the story. I don't really like changing suits during that, but I'm gonna say S.
okay. So that overrides my A, so that is an S.
Let's
Okay.
go.
All right. Next up is the classic suit. So it's a good-looking Spider-Man suit. It's got all the things you care about. It's Spider-Man. I love it. How about you guys?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's just classic choice. There's nothing really wrong with it, and even some of the variants I like using the different styles for it. And yeah, always a good look for Spider-Man.
Hmm. And you, Carlos?
yeah. I mean, like I said, when I played the first game, like I used this suit all the time. This was maybe my favorite suit in the first game. But I gotta be honest, like I think I maybe equipped this once
Okay.
playing Spider-Man 2. It is a great classic Peter design, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe A, just because it's like it's classic, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't really use it much.
I
That's
think
my take.
if I have any negatives to say about this is that it is classic Spider-Man. That's the point of it. But I would argue that there are other suits that kind of emulate what this is going for, but they have more interesting elements to them, which we'll get to. So I guess because it is a basic Spider-Man suit, it's both a good thing and a bad thing because I do think there are more interesting suits than this personally. It's less vibrant than the Advanced Suit 2.0, I would say. Um,
Mhm.
I would say personally, I'd lean B or A for this one. I'd say no lower than B. It is vanilla Spider-Man. I would go B for baseline Spider-Man.
Um, I'm gonna say A. Yeah, it's really solid overall, but like kind of what you were saying. It's nothing like outstanding. It's
Yeah,
just it's good. Yeah.
yeah. All right, so
I
yes.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I might change to B. I don't know
Oh,
because I was looking at the models again and like I kind of wish they updated it to have like the Spider-Man 2 like face design. I just think it's so much better,
okay.
but then again, it's accurate to the first game. Never mind. I'll stay at A. I'll stay at A. I had some
Okay.
hesitation. No.
All right. So once again, I am overruled. So it is. We're putting the classic suit in A. All right. Next up is Scarlet Spider 3 suit. So this kind of sucks. See, this is one of the many Scarlet Spider designs. I believe this outfit. Correct me if I'm wrong, Carlos. I believe this design was first introduced in the comics around the late 2010s, like when Ben Riley first reappeared, and they kind of wanted to give him an updated version of the hooded suit you associate with him from the 90s. It's an attempt to take something that was so simple because I would say most people are a fan of that very, very 90s design of like the hoodie over the very basic red. And this is trying to make that a superhero outfit. And what's going on with the knees? Like, right? Like, I don't know what that detail is. Like, it's weird. Like, I don't know. This just takes a classic design and complicates it in a way that I don't know who it's supposed to please.
That's an interesting, fair take. I would say it is from the late 2010s. It's like right after Clone Conspiracy,
Mm,
where he went off into his own series. I remember liking the design when it was revealed then, but obviously not everyone did. Um, that being said, I think it's cool that it's in here. Like we haven't seen this suit in the game before, uh, and I don't know. I think on paper, if you told me like we're gonna put this suit in the game, I'd be like, oh okay. But I actually ended up kind of appreciating it. I think it's pretty cool, and I think the variant colors are also pretty sick. Um, I don't know. I actually ended up liking this one more than you would think I would. I don't know. I like the logo. I'm a big textures guy. Um, so yeah, and I mean, I guess like the knee things is just kind of like giving it that like realism feel, like oh knee pads. I don't know. Because I don't think those knee lines are in the comic design by Bagley, but but yeah, I don't know. I kind of dig this one. I don't know. I might go B for Bagley or B for Ben Riley. I don't
Okay.
know. I did use this one a little
Okay.
bit. So, you know,
All right, Chris.
Um, okay, so I'm not really familiar with this suit in the comics. Like,
Mhm.
I remember when he got his second suit in the comics, but I don't. I'm kind of surprised that's not in this game. But so I was really just kind of playing around with it, and I did my homework for all of these suits. I played around with all of them. I used all of their different styles just for a little bit, just to have some kind of idea of what's going on. And I was surprised to find out how much I actually enjoyed this one.
Mm.
And I don't know, I really don't know what it is. It's something about it I just had a bit of fun with. And I'm kind of like you. I don't really like hoods on Spider-Man,
Yeah,
but
no,
like
I
this
don't
one,
like. That's my thing. I don't like hoods on Spider-Man. I don't think it's a good look because practically, like, I know I'm overthinking this. It's Spider-Man. He's a guy that has spider powers, but if he's web slinging around, like, wouldn't the hood like fall out?
but counterpoints. Well, number one, I'm wearing a hoodie right now, so I gotta
Yes.
represent for the hoods. But counterpoint, I really love when Spider-Man wears a backpack while swinging because I feel like in my head anyway, like when I'm reading the books, like when he's like swinging with the backpack on, the backpack's all moving and it gives it like this sense of motion. So I think part of the appeal of like the hoodie is like the sense of motion it would create from like the wind and like, it going this way and that way when you're swinging and stuff. Now, I don't think that really happens with the suits in the game, but I'm just fighting for the hood appeal. And also, I mean, Spider Gwen famously has like a superhero style hoodie suit, which people like.
I don't
Like
mind it on Spider
you
Gwen
know,
so much because it is part
mm,
of that suit. It's an integral part of that look. It's just when it's on Spider Man, it just doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't compute for me.
right, right.
normally, yeah, I think the same, but for some reason, I'm letting this suit get away with it. I'm gonna say B tier.
Okay. See, I feel bad. I'm gonna say D because I only say D because I know there are far worse suits in this game. Like, but
Hmm.
at least it is still a basic superhero outfit. It's not over the top. Like, he doesn't have like blades or crazy armor or like a sash. It just kind of looks like a fan made outfit in the worst possible way to me. All right, how about you, Carlos? You
I
said
gotta
B, right?
say, I'm gonna say B. I think. I
Okay.
mean, yeah, I'm gonna say B. I'm gonna say B.
All right, so that overrides my D. So Scarlet Spider 3 suit gets a B. All right, next up is the advanced suit, aka the suit from the very first game. What are your thoughts on this one?
Um,
Um, yeah, I still like it. It's I was never really too distracted by the White Spider, even when it was. I mean, I guess when it was announced, I was kind of caught off guard. But when you play with it for so much, it's just like you really don't pay attention to those details. But yeah, it's just something with the red. It's just a little bit too orange. It just looks more flat compared to the new one. I still like it, and I'm sure like if I go back to playing the first game, it'd probably be the only thing I use. But I'm gonna say a B tier for this one.
Okay. I agree because I think the vibrancy in 2.0 feels better with this suit. But I will say with this one, the web pattern I think stands out a bit more, which I like.
Hmm.
He's got weird red on top of the leg. Like it's all segmented. Like it does the same thing that MCU Spider-Man does, where he has random segmented bits. Like the torso doesn't extend all the way to the belt, and that's separated from the upper thigh, and then on the arms too, like down the arms, he's got like breaks in the red. Like I don't understand the logic behind it. I don't inherently hate separating bits here and there, but it does make me question what the point of it is. I mean, like looking at these together, like I do think the webs are more prominent. I like that about it, but I think the 2.0 is an improvement. I think this is a lesser design, so I'm with you, Chris. I'm actually gonna go B with this one. How about you, Carlos?
I think this might be the one we're all in agreement with. I might go B too,
Okay.
because like because it's iconic. Like
Mhm.
it was like the Insomniac suit when the first game came out, but comparing it to the new updated one, it's like not even close for me. Like I never use this suit while playing Spider-Man 2. The colors are not as gorgeous. The textures aren't the same. The spider, like I don't like how it kind of spills out of the. It just looks messier than the new one.
Mm.
Yeah, um, it's just it just doesn't compare. It just doesn't hold a candle to the update. I think Insomniac has improved on it in every way. So just not a suit I'm using in this game personally. But it is iconic, so
Yeah.
I'll go B.
All right, we finally agreed on something. We'll see how many more times we can do this. Okay, so advanced suit gets a B. All right, next up is the Kumo suit. So this is what I'm talking about with these suits. There's some suits in these games where I just don't get Spider-Man from this. Like, I'm not saying it's an inherently bad design or that a lot of effort didn't go into this. I'm not saying that. But as a fan of Spider-Man, who has a very iconic suit in the same way Batman or Superman or all these other characters do, I don't know what this is or what it's going for. That doesn't work for me.
Um, yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. I don't really have too much to say about this. It's just kind of ugly to look at, honestly. I didn't have fun playing with this one.
All right, Carlos.
Well, this suit was designed by Peach Momoko, I think.
Okay.
I hope I'm right about that. I'm pretty sure. So like, I do love Peach Momoko, and I guess I respect like how it's unique. Like I think like the animation like style is like a little different. Like it looks a little more like cartoony, I guess you would say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it like represents gives it a different vibe, but ultimately, yeah, I'm not huge on it either myself. I can't say I would rank it very high.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, like with all the suits, who's choosing this? I'm gonna jump the gun. This is an F. Get out of my face.
I'm gonna agree with that.
All right.
I'll go D.
Well, unfortunately, Carlos, our Fs outrank yours, so we're giving the Kumo suit an F.
Dang.
I know.
I'm sorry, Peach.
All right. Next is the hybrid suit, as seen from Spider-Man: No Way Home. What are your thoughts on this one?
I was kind of surprised by it because just looking at it, it's an interesting design. There's a lot going on here. Um, but I played around with it and I actually like had a lot of fun with this suit. I don't know what it is. Maybe
Okay.
it's just like it's nice and shiny when you're swinging around. I was originally kind of iffy on that because this suit's in remastered, and it's just a lot more basic and just kind of flat looking. It doesn't have that gloss, and I think that just kind of made me have a little bit more fun with it. So when I ranked it at A tier. I might go down to B
Okay.
tier, but it's around that area for me.
All right. Carlos?
Yeah, I think I'd go B tier also. I feel like that's just where I would put like, it's like a movie suit and it looks like the movie suit.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, I have like your notes here, Alex, and you said like it's not the best Tom Holland suit, it's not the worst. I kind of feel the same. Like it's not my favorite of Tom Holland suits,
Yeah.
but it's not my least favorite. But it's pretty accurate. So like, I mean, it looks like the suit. So I would
Yeah.
go B. I would go B.
Okay. So my thing is, I'm not a huge fan of gold on Spider-Man. And like you said, and what I wrote in the notes, it's not my favorite Tom Holland suit, but it's also not my least favorite either. This one's okay. I think conceptually it's not a bad idea, but I don't know. This would not be my go-to for the game, but I don't hate it. Like the last suit, we kind of said like this isn't really Spider-Man. Like what kind of crazy person came up with this Japanese Spider-Man? Like this is like I get it. It's not insulting, but I'm not attached to it in any way. I was gonna say C, but I guess that overrules your guys overrule mine. So this will get a B. The hybrid suit gets a B. All right. Next up is the amazing suit. Okay, so I guess on the subject of like the movie suits, here's my thing when it comes to these suits in the game. I wouldn't wear these suits personally because when I play this game, I want it to be focused on Insomniac's Peter Parker. So if I'm watching a cutscene with Andrew Garfield's suit or Tom Holland's or whoever's, like it takes me out of it because it's not their story. So I don't really wear these suits to begin with in the game. Like these are like swinging around suits, take pictures, fight some crime. That's what I would really use these suits for. But that being said, with the amazing suit, I'm about to drop a very, very hot take potentially. I really like the Amazing Spider-Man suit over the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit, which we'll get to 2 here in a second, but I'm quite a big fan of the first Amazing Spider-Man suit.
Alex, I'm right there with you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I way prefer the Amazing Spider-Man 1 suit over the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit. Even when I was a kid, when they first revealed that they were changing the costume to like what it was, I was like, what? No, like I liked the creepy like texture and like I really dug like the colors and the texture and everything on the first suit. So when they first revealed like the new like more Raimi like suit, I was like, oh, okay. Like it took some getting used to back then.
Wow.
And I still think this is my favorite like Andrew Garfield look. So I agree with you actually.
Nice.
I'm right there with you. This would be like an A, I think. A for amazing.
Yeah.
For me.
I mean, I guess we're reviewing both suits at the same time at this point, but like you were saying, like they switched from this homemade suit to a comic accurate suit in TASM 2, and it was praised for that. Like people love that suit, but to me, like it's just extreme course correction because the first suit was a reaction to, well, we can't be the Raimi films. They perfected the live action look. We have to go for this homemade look. Like the bottoms of the feet are made from real shoes, and the lenses are sunglasses. Like it was forcefully homemade, which I adore. And then with 2, they realized, well, we can't be Nolan meets the Twilight films for like this Spider-Man movie. Like we just have to go, we have to go back to formula. And that TASM 2 suit feels like a course correction for a course correction. Like I think it is a good live action suit, but to me it just feels like Sony trying to figure out anything to make this work. Like they're like, oh, screw it. Like we don't care about our creators. We don't care about anything in terms of integrity of the art. We're just going to give you the Spider-Man suit. Like this is that what you want? Like here, like it has the Mark Bagley Ultimate eyes. Chris?
I mean, yeah.
Like I do agree with all of that in terms of just comparing the suits. But there's something about it in the game, and I just don't think it translates from what you see on the screen.
Okay.
Like I think if you put side by side images of the suit in the game and then the suit in the movie, there's just like little details. You know, maybe it's the blue, maybe it's just a little too bright. I mean, there is kind of like a darker, more saturated look in the first Amazing Spider-Man, but you know, I just don't think it translates it well in the game. I mean, it still looks good, and I agree with like just preferring this one overall compared to the second one. But I was going to put this maybe in B tier.
I would personally say A for the first suit, and then put the second suit in B, because
that's fine.
I do think as a Spider-Man suit, it has a lot going for it. Like, not that the outside world should influence our opinions on this, but for a lot of people, like, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit is their favorite version of a live-action Spider-Man, because that's practically a one-to-one of what they like from the comics. Like, it's the body type, it's the eyes, it's the raised webbing, it's all those things. How about you, Carlos?
Well, I wouldn't say the TASM 2 suit is my favorite live-action Spider-Man suit. Mm-hmm. But I do like that one too. I mean, the thing is, Andrew Garfield fills out both of these suits wonderfully. I mean, he has a great like lanky Spider-Man physique, you know. But keeping it to this game, you know, I would also, if we're talking about TASM 2 already, I would probably want to put that one in A as well, just because I really appreciate that they added it to this game, because you know the first Amazing suit they put in like the first game, they eventually added it to that, but I was really excited that they added the TASM 2 suit to Spider-Man 2. You know, it's always cool when they give us what we want. You know, obviously there was a lot of fans online that really wanted the TASM 2 suit in there. So now that it's here, that's cool. I'm glad. I hope people are happy. Like I think a lot of people were happy to see it there. So I'd put both of the TASM suits in A personally.
Okay. How about you, Chris? How would you grade these?
So the TASM 2 suit, originally when the game first came out, like the coloring was kind of all wrong on the red. It was kind of like the advanced suit where it just looks more
That's
orange and it
right.
wasn't as glossy as it looks now, but like they fixed it, thank God. And so it's a lot better. It's a lot higher on my list now. I was also going to put this in A.
Okay.
I think in terms of authenticity, I think TASM 2 does a better job than the first one if you're just directly comparing it to
Yeah.
how it looks in the movies. Um, but, in terms of just the actual, like, lore, just behind the scenes, I do like the first suit more.
So
So they're kind of both on par for me.
I'd I'd say put the TASM 2 in B because it is a good suit, but there's things about it that make it not as great as many people make it out to be. But that's where I'd put it because it is fine. It's Spider-Man. Like you can't deny that because look at him. He's red and blue. I could go C, but that's gonna piss people off. So amazing suit. We'll give an A and amazing 2. What was your grade, Chris?
I think I had an A. I'm okay dropping it to B though, if that makes it all
All right.
unanimous.
I guess we'll agree with a B. That overrides Carlos's A. Unfortunately, sorry,
Oh, my
Carlos.
bad. My
That is
bad.
okay. I prefer the TASM 1 suit anyway.
There we go. Okay. Next up is the Spider-Man 2099 black suit. I mean, S. I mean, come on. This is iconic. Like, I love the 2099 suit. Like, I know we're not talking about the variants of those suits, but I really appreciate that they have a black and red suit because for those that may not be aware, in the comics, it is a black and red suit. It's only the highlights that are blue. Like, very often you'll see, like, that with Venom. Like Venom will often have blue highlights. Sometimes purple if you're in the Ultimate Comics. But since then, 2099 has been given a blue suit just because of the perception of that. But original Peter David's run of 2099, Miguel O'Hara, like that is a black suit. So to see the black and red suit realized in a video game, like a realistic 3D environment, is honestly awesome. Like, but the blue and red still looks as iconic as you can get from an alternate Spider-Man. So I can only say S because it's one of the coolest alternate Spider-Man suits in existence.
I would almost agree with you on
Oh
everything.
no.
There's just one thing that the suit doesn't do for me, and that's that there is nothing on the back. And so like I know in the comics and like even in Spider Verse for a brief second he has like the cape, which would have been pretty neat to have kind of like a little torn web cape on there, or even just a logo. But it's just all blue or all black depending on your style. But other than that, like it is a really solid suit. I think I was gonna go A just because when you're swinging around, you're only looking at the back, and so it doesn't really do too much there. But it's still a really great suit overall.
All right, Carlos.
I think I'm lower on this one than you guys.
Oh no.
Um, I kind of was hoping they would add a web cape as well because I mean, we've got the web wings in this game. There's suits with capes, So I like when going into this game, I was thinking like, oh, I wonder if they'll add web wings to 2099, or if the worldwide suit will be in there with the web wings now. That'll be cool. And there wasn't, But at the same time, they did add the black and red color variation, like you said, which is cool. But on the other hand, I just don't think it's my favorite Miguel design. I don't know.
Okay.
I was leaning B. I was leaning B because I wish it was more futuristic, or I wish it had a web cape or something. But I'll go A because the black and red color variant is pretty sick, and it's iconic. It's just like in the first game,
Oh, you're
So
breaking my heart, Carlos. All right. So the Spider-Man
I go,
2099
I
black
go,
suit gets an A. Okay.
sorry, Alex.
Yeah. I mean, come on. I love the skull because it just goes back to his Hispanic heritage. It's neat. Anyways, okay. Next is the Scarlet Spider suit. Um, it's just nice and simple. I love the Scarlet Spider suit. I think Ben Reilly is an interesting character. That being said, I don't know if this translated as well as I'd like it to. Like, I feel that sort of 90s art style doesn't perfectly translate to like this 3D realistic environment, because it's weird to see him with like seamed lines and textures, unlike 2099 who has a futuristic feel. Like, this one almost feels like when he showed up in the Spider-Verse movie this year and he was a fully cell shaded 3D model. That looked good because it sort of emulated that 90s art style. Here, when you don't have those elements, it kind of feels like something's missing. Like he looks naked.
Yeah, I kind of agree. It's like, I mean, it's still a nice look overall, but just the base suit, like take away like the hoodie there. It's, there's just too many patterns. It just looks too clean. I feel like it just needs to be like roughened up a little bit. And yeah, it's just like it. I agree. It just doesn't really translate that well. Yeah.
How about you, Carlos?
Ah, I'm actually on the opposite end from you guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love this suit, you know? There's another one that's like it was in the first game and they kind of just brought it over. But I loved it there too, you know? I think they did a really good job of bringing it to life. I like the additional textures and lines. I like how they did the eyes on the mask especially. Like, I think the mask looks really good. Um, yeah, I love this suit. This would be, I mean, I guess S, but I could settle for A,
Okay.
because it's iconic. It's brought to life nicely. I love the textures. Yeah, I really like this suit. I'd put it A maybe. Let's go A.
I think I would give it a C, but purely for its poor translation for me, because I do think it is a good suit, but it just doesn't quite. It's not quite what I imagine in my head, personally. How about you, Chris?
I was gonna put it B.
Okay, so I guess that
Um,
between the different grades, I guess that averages out to a B then. So
yeah.
Scarlet Spider's suit gets a B. Okay, next up, it's the suit that tells us how to grade it. It's the Superior Spider-Man suit. Carlos, I will let you take it away.
This is an S tier suit. This is my favorite alternate suit in the game. Oh my god, like it is such a cool translation of the superior suit from the books. I love it. I love the textures. I love the eyes. I love the messy web pattern. Obviously, I'm a huge Dan Slott and Superior Spider-Man fan, so this is a big win just for being here. But on top of that, on top of everything, well, also, I'd like to point out that the eyes are kind of like asymmetrical, which I love. But on top of everything, the coolest thing about this suit, I think, is that when you're wearing it, if you use your spider arms, they're red. They're like the red superior arms, which is such a cool touch. When I was using this, I really felt like the Superior Spider-Man, especially when using some of those spider arm moves. 10 out of 10, no complaints. Also, it's got like that white and green variation that makes me feel like the Superior Octopus, which also turns your arms green. 10 out of 10, S tier suit, one of my favorites.
This is just like for me personally. I'm not a big fan of like the spider arms being like a default like a power move in this game. Like the thing about the first game was that if you unlock the suits, you get different abilities. That was kind of your incentive to get those suits. I don't really like that the spider arms are there by default in this one. That's just me.
I mean, you had to have something to counter Miles because he had his, venom powers. So
Yeah. But anyways, with the Superior suit, I mean, obviously in the comics, the Superior Spider-Man storyline, like the suit went through a few changes from its initial storyline until its final appearance. This is another one where I don't think it translates from what I imagine in my head as the Superior Spider-Man suit from the comics. That being said, it does take a lot of inspiration from that Alex Ross concept art for the first Spider-Man movie before they just went fully classic. But it's very minimal. It's got that red triangle for the torso piece. I like it, but I don't feel it lives up to the name, sadly. But I do like how minimal it is without going over the top. Like I think that helps with it. How about you, Chris?
I actually had a lot of fun with this suit.
Okay.
And I love the details on the web patterns. I love how messy it is. And also with the arms. And I made note of that of like all of the suits, because there are a few suits that do that where they change the colors of the arms. And this was one of my favorite ones to do that. And yeah, I just had a lot of fun with this. And I actually think it translates pretty well from the comics. So I was going to put S tier.
Okay.
S tier. Woo!
I was gonna go B, but I guess that overrides my grade. So, Superior Spider-Man suit, it does indeed live up to the name. It is an S. Okay. Speaking of Doc Ock, the next suit is the Anti-Ock suit, as seen from the end of the first game. It's fine. It's weird to me that he has the Raimi-shaped lenses on the suit, because the PS4 suit had a lot of homages to different Spider-Man costumes, but this specifically had the Raimi lenses. Like, it's very strange. Like, I like the concept behind it. Like, the whole confrontation with Doc Ock is really, really cool, but I don't have very strong opinions on this suit. Like, I mean, it does fit within that moment of time, but nothing else for me.
Yeah, I was actually kind of thinking the exact same thing. I think this suit really just should have stayed in that boss. And it's just weird seeing it as just like an accessory, like a bonus suit in this game. Like I think it's a good design overall, and yeah, I like the context of its use in the first game. But like really, just kind of same as you. Like that's all it. That's as far as it goes for me. It's just that confrontation, and that's it.
All right, how about you, Carlos?
This suit has always kind of reminded me of like the bulletproof, like no one dies suit.
I can see that.
Because of like the black and yellow and
Mhm.
like it's like a one-time use kind of thing. But that being said, I usually in the first game, when given the option, like I stuck to the bulletproof suit. I think this is a fine suit. You know, narratively makes sense. Not my fave though. I will say I think the variations they added are kind of neat because of like the metallic texture. Like the all white one looks pretty cool and weird. You know. So yeah, I mean, I don't know where exactly I would rank this, but I assume it feels like we're kind of similar pages about it. You know?
I was gonna say C actually. I was gonna go C. C for crap. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
I'm joking, people. But I would say C.
I was gonna say B for this suit.
I'll go B because I'm nice.
All right. Well, the anti-ox suit gets a B. All right. Next up is the Arachnite suit. This is just Azrael from the Arkham games. So earlier I said I don't like hoods on Spider-Man. I also don't like capes. And is he wearing pants?
I guess.
I don't like this. None of this works for me. And to add wound to this was the pre-order bonus as well. So this gets an F for me. I'm sorry,
Yeah, I'm also getting an F for this one.
And
Carlos.
F, guys. I mean, this
I
isn't
don't
my favorite.
Spider-Man when I look at this suit. I just don't.
Like, but variety, guys. There's value in variety. I'm gonna argue for this one. It's not my fave, but it is a Ramos design. You know, like the Arachnite suit in the books was designed by Ramos, and
Mhm.
you know, I gotta die on the Ramos hill. That's my guy. And you know, it's pretty comic accurate, I would say. Plus, it's got a cape. You know, that's cool. That's unique. You know. I don't know. I'm gonna give it A just for being different, being comic accurate, and yeah, you know, being like a new, fresh suit. Even though it's not my favorite, I didn't really use it, but I respect it. I respect Arachnite.
I
That's my
respect your
piece.
opinion, but unfortunately, it was all for naught. Our Fs override your A. So the Arachnite suit gets an F.
I had to fight for it. I had to fight for it.
It was an admirable attempt, but alas. All right, next is the Into the Spider-Verse Noir suit. This is a cool suit. I love that it's sort of animated in a different frame rate. Like, I love his Easter egg with, like you pointed out, Carlos, in the notes, with the Rubik's Cube. I mean, come on, this is cool.
Yeah, I would honestly, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this is S tier for me. I wasn't too big of a fan of just the base noir appearance in the first game. I like that he had a gun. That was kind of cool, but I like something about like the Spider-Verse design, like the fedora and just the comically large trench coat. Like it's all I kind of picture now when I see noir. So like I love this design, and this is also another one where the arms change. Like they're all black when you use the arms on this suit. So another nice little detail for that. So I'm gonna say S tier.
Excellent. How about you, Carlos?
Yeah.
What is your grade? What are your thoughts on this?
I was originally going to go A tier, but you're right. This is an S tier suit.
I'm leaning
it's
S. I am going S on this, actually. And just
yeah,
as a quick aside, actually, I've seen people play with certain settings where you can turn the saturation off and it looks like the noir universe. So I think that's really cool.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm going S on this one. I love this suit. Interesting that they chose noir in this one of the Spider-Verse movie suits.
I was gonna say, like, if I had a problem, it's kind of a more broad problem that this is for Peter, this is the only Spider-Verse suit that you have.
Mm.
It's like there's nothing for Miguel or even like Peter B. Parker. It's just this one. You know, hopefully they'll add more soon, but I don't know. Especially since Peter B. Parker was in the first game.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna bring that up when we were talking about the 2099 suit, is that I kind of wish that Miguel's Across the Spider-Verse suit was one of Peter's, because that's my favorite Miguel look. Like I
That
love
is a
that
great look.
Miguel design.
hmm
But I'm glad this one's in here. The trench coat, the hat,
Yeah.
10 out of 10. The Rubik's Cube animation fits with it so well. Everything about the Spider-Verse suits, they're all so good. 10
Oh
out of
yeah.
10.
So the noir suit gets an S. All right. Next up is another movie suit. It is the homemade suit. I don't know about you guys. This is actually my favorite Tom Holland suit. I love that it's low tech and homemade, especially in that universe of him getting handed suits, and it's either an armor or 3D printed, whatever. Like the idea of him grabbing what works, and as a Spider-Man suit, obviously you need to get past that, but the idea of a kid just grabbing whatever works, just like the human spider or like that kind of gimmick. I'm a sucker for that in the Spider-Man world, so I do like that aspect of it. And it's funny that they put this in the game because it's just sweatpants man.
I almost agree with you with one thing, and that's the eyes. Because the eyes do move. They have that, like, the moving lenses that he has in all of his other suits, and it just doesn't belong in this suit. Like, any of his other suits, fine, but this one, like you said, it's lower tech. It should just look more dingy. It's like, if the eyes didn't move, it'd be fine, but they do, and that kind of takes me out a little bit. So
Fair enough.
I was going to say, like, B tier for this suit.
Okay. How about you, Carlos?
Wait, Alex, I was going to ask, what tier did you put this in?
I was gonna go to B as well, probably.
B? I'll go. Okay. I mean, I guess I could join you guys at B. I was gonna put it at A because, like you, Alex, I agree that this is one of. Well, I wouldn't say it's my favorite Tom Holland suit. That's coming later, but you know, for a while, it was my favorite. I mean, I love it in Homecoming. Like, I love that whole third act of that movie. But we're not talking about that movie. But I agree with you. I like the you know, the homemade aspect. I think it's cute. And it was really good in the first game. You know, this was in the first game as well. I liked it there. So yeah, I guess I could go B. But I really like this suit for sure.
All right, the homemade suit gets a B. Okay, next up is the Spider-Punk suit. And what happened here? I feel like the Spider-Verse movie did such a great job with characters like Spider-Punk or Spider-Man India and gave them flavor and personality. Like all the versions of those characters are the most bland, boring attempts at making alternate Spider-Man, especially when we live in a world with a good Spider-Punk design. This just looks even more bland in comparison.
Yeah, I think like Spider-Verse kind of raised the bar on this one, but like even then, it's like if you're even just given the context of the character and that he's just kind of, it's very it should be more spunky and like it's just kind of looks so flat when you're given that context. It's like I wish there was just more crazy little details on it, and it like you said, it just kind of looks boring compared to like Spider Verse and stuff like that.
How about you, Carlos?
I mean, I can't argue with the fact that Spider Verse raised the bar. I mean, their Spider Punk design is so awesome, so next level. But I don't dislike this one. I mean, it was in the first game. I will say it also kind of loses a bit of its appeal in this because we can't do the guitar move anymore. like, like in the first game, it had the guitar move too.
That's right, he
It
did.
was it was it was. I feel like it was a bigger hit in the first game. But now that we've been exposed to Obi Brand in that was terrible. Please cut that out.
Oh no, we're gonna keep it in. I thought that was pretty good.
No, it's fine. But now that we've met, the Across the Spider Verse version, it does you know, kind of go lower on the list for me. So I could just join you guys on your ranking. I'll go B.
I,
I'll go B.
I was gonna say D personally.
I was gonna say C for this one.
Okay, so I guess that averages out to a C then. So, Spider Punk, you get a C. All right. Next up is the Secret Wars Civil War suit. I
It's an amazing name, by the way.
I do not like nothing about. I don't like anything about this. I really do not. I'm sorry. This is an F.
I'm gonna say D, only because I like the detail of the wings when you do the web wings. That is literally its only saving grace. Like I like when they go out of their way and just put in these little details, but that's as far as I'll go. I'm not going any higher than that.
All right, Carlos, can you save it?
I'm fighting for this one just like I fought for Arachnite because once again, like I want to praise the effort to include like a different, unique one that we wouldn't have thought of. It's from again the books. It's from an AU, just like Arachnite. And I respect that hustle. To go out of your way to do that. And like Chris pointed out, the wings, Alex, the wings change. You don't use web pits on this one. You use falcon wings, just like in the book. That's a cool detail. And if a suit has a cool detail like that, I simply have to respect. So just like the cape and hood and everything sold me on Arachnite, the wings and the cargo pants are selling me here. I'm going A. Fighting for it.
Wow. Man. I don't like the Militech look on Spider-Man. I don't like it. So I guess with all that, I guess it averages to, a C overall between our three grades.
Ugh.
So Secret War, Civil War suit gets a C.
Somehow.
All right, next is the Iron Spider armor. What are your thoughts on this suit, guys?
I really like the suit actually, and this is another suit where the arms change. So they're all golden, even though there's four arms, and in the comics there
Yeah,
are
so
three.
okay, Carlos, answer me this. Why in the comics does the Iron Spider have 3 legs? That has never made any sense to me.
Bro, don't ask me. I don't know the answer to that one either.
That has never made any sense to me. I don't get it. But anyways, continue. I'm sorry.
But I mean, overall, I mean, it looks really good. Yeah, and especially compared to the MCU's take on this, I love this one a lot more. And I was gonna put it in A tier, maybe even S. Maybe A. I'll do A.
Okay. How about you, Carlos?
Yeah, so this was a suit that was in the first game, and I really liked it there. I didn't use it as much here, but I know a lot of people like even Tyler from the Slack as well. He was really hoping this suit would make it over, and I think it's cool that it's here because the Iron Spider had web wings in the books. So hey, now we get to use the Iron Spider with web wings and the arms. Makes sense, and I guess the color variations are pretty cool. So I'll go A. I'll go A.
All right. So I have another hot take. I don't like the comics version of the Iron Spider suit that well. Uh, so this is that, but they made it realistic, so it has a bunch of like panel lining and things. I mean, he's shiny like a Christmas present, but I I don't like the suit. I mean, it's a faithful enough adaptation of that suit, so if you're a fan of that suit, I get it, but I'm not. So I'm going D.
It doesn't matter.
I like.
You're overwritten.
So you gave it an A as well, Chris?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so I am overruled. So Iron Spider gets an A.
Woo! I was gonna say I also like speaking to how they translated it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like how they added like Iron Man MCU touches to it, like
Mhm.
design wise.
Fair enough.
Anyway, that's just an old thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so next up is the webbed black suit. Is it weird that they call this the webbed suit and not the Raymead suit?
You're
Uh,
hilarious.
So, look, I don't have the ability to think about this rationally. This is an S for me. Come on.
It's an S for me, and this I'll go and say this is probably my favorite suit in the game. I would say
Wow.
just inside of the regular suit, this is the one that I wore the most when I was just swinging around doing side missions. I love this suit so much. I think it's translated beautifully from the movie.
Yeah.
And even in the movie, I don't mind the simplicity of just that it's just the same suit but black. But then you also have the detail of the spider, how the legs are crunched in, which is what a spider does when it dies. Um, so yeah, just fantastic suit. I love this one.
Yeah, and look, Spider-Man 3 is not as good or bad as people say it is. There are far worse films out there, but I also don't think it's a secret masterpiece by any means. But this suit is just so cool. It's an S. All right, Carlos, what do you have to say about it?
This is not my favorite suit in the game. It's not my favorite symbiote suit in the game. But how can you not love this suit? I mean, it's iconic. So many people wanted this. I think this was easily the most requested suit for this game. Is
Oh yeah.
black suit Raimi. That I mean, I every time I look at this suit, I hear dun 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 in my head. Like it's a great suit. I can't not give it an S, even if it's not my favorite symbiote suit.
Hey.
It's top tier for sure.
All right. The webbed black suit gets an S. Okay, next is the web suit. I mean, I want to love this suit so much, and I do love the suit. But there's something about it, the way it's translated in the game, where the
I think I
lighting.
know what it is.
Yeah, yes, go on.
I think it's just because all three movies, the suit is slightly different. There are just
Yeah.
little things in each suit, and I feel like this is just kind of a Frankenstein's monster of bringing all three together.
So is this also based on the No Way Home suit? Because the No Way Home suit is not based on the typical suit from the Raimi trilogy. It's
I
slightly
don't think it
different.
is. I don't think it is because I think this is just ported over from the first game, and that was before No Way
Fair.
Home. So I think this is just combining the three movies, just traditional suit. I mean, it still looks great. Like if I had anything really to say about it, it's just that I think the web pattern is just a little bit too thick and a little bit too bright. But when you're playing around with it, I don't really notice that much. It's just when you're looking at it up close, like we are now, it just kind of that sticks out. But again, when I'm playing with it, I don't really notice it, and it's just the fact that we have this suit. Like I'm gonna go S tier.
I mean, look, once again, I don't have a way to think about this rationally because, like, look, this was my childhood hero on the screen, but it's like, you want it to be perfect because it is my childhood hero, but look, I can't rationalize anything. It's Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, pizza time. Like, my brain don't work right, so I am biased. What about you, Carlos?
I'm gonna go A. It was in the first game, and I liked it there. It's the Raimi suit. I think what might be the biggest difference is just the body type.
Mm-hmm.
Like PS4 Spider-Man's physique is not Tobey Maguire's physique. I feel like that's part of why it might not look exactly the same, but I think I think it's good. I think it's the Raimi suit. Not my favorite live action suit. Not my least favorite live action suit. It's pretty good. It's iconic. It's classic. I would go A.
I mean, I already said I can't speak, so I'll just give it an A. So the web suit gets an A. All right, next up is the upgraded classic suit, as seen from Civil War and Homecoming, and I guess a little bit of Infinity War. What are your thoughts on this?
It's fine. That's really all I have to say about it. I like the like Steve Ditko big spider on the back.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that came back. That really hasn't in all of his other suits. Yeah, it's just pretty good. I mean, in terms of the context of like Homecoming, like I hate how it's used with like the AI and everything, but just looking at it, like it's still a pretty solid suit. But I'm probably gonna say C tier
Okay.
for this one.
How about you, Carlos?
How a C tier? No. I love this. I love the Stark suit. I love the Homecoming suit. I think Tom Holland has like the best like mask of all the live action Spider-Man. I love those eyes. Like just looking at this, I'm like, I love those eyes so much. I love the black lines. I said it. And I just will never like get over like my memories of seeing this suit in like the set pictures. I just love the colors, the texture of it. This is at least an A for me. I'm gonna go A.
Okay.
Stark suit, Homecoming suit, A for me.
I mean, it's not bad. I don't know. Like, I don't like. I'm gonna be an opposite. I don't like all the weird black bits on the arms. I don't know. I don't really care for it much anymore. Like, it's got good red and blue, but there's better versions of a classic style Spider-Man suit in this game. So why would I go for this one? I mean, there's even better Tom Holland suits than this. Personally, I'm with Chris. I'm going C. I'm sorry, Carlos.
Okay, it's okay.
Okay. Next is the new blue suit. Chris, what do you have to say about this?
Okay, well, right off the bat, I don't understand why this is in the game and not like Bombastic Bagman or Future
Come on,
Foundation.
where's Bagman in this game?
Seriously. Now, with that being said, I was actually this close to putting it an F, and it was saved by a hair because I do really love like the style where it's like mostly black and the blue like it kind of changes depending on the lighting and it looks like really cool and I was kind of impressed with that. So it actually saved it to like maybe even C tier. But I'm not a huge fan. Well, first I should stress I'm not a huge fan of all of these like different Marvel IPs like tied into this game, like all those different suits. This one isn't the worst one, but it's not one of my favorite ones. So I'm gonna say C tier.
All right, Carlos, what do you have to say about this?
This is an S tier suit for me. I have to say it. This is an S tier suit. Now, suits always get points for me if they're new. Like this is a suit we've never seen before in a game. It's on top of that a Fantastic Four suit, which I love when Spider-Man is with the Fantastic Four. I really liked the Bagman and Future Foundation suits in the first game. I like this one even better. I gotta say it. I love the blues. I love the webless. I love that it has no webs. I think going into this game, one of the suits I really like dreamed for in my head was like the '60s Spider-Man cartoon suit because I was like, it'd be so cool if we could be like '60s Spider-Man with no webs or whatever. This is the closest we can get to that because one of the variants is red and blue with no webs, and I like to pretend that was my '60s suit. But even just the base one, it's straight out of Empire, Fantastic Four Empire. That's what this suit is from. Love it. Love the darker variant, and even the white one is cool. I love the suit a lot. I'm going S because I know no one else will agree. So hopefully I can boost those numbers up, baby.
Well, Chris, what did you give this? You gave this a C?
Yeah, I gave it a C.
I'm going C as well because see, I like. Is it weird that I don't have an opinion on this suit? So I like the choices for the blue and black. Like it looks smooth, so I like that about it. And I like the Fantastic Four look like that he has. But he's got like a weird boot thing going on. Like I don't know what that like. I would go C, but I don't have a strong connection to it. But I do like it as a clean Spider-Man look. So unfortunately, Carlos, we override you. We're going C.
Pain, pain.
Pain. All right. Well, next up is the upgraded suit. Uh, this okay. I take that back. This might actually be my favorite Tom Holland suit. I like the black on this suit. I think black is a good look on Spidey. The problem I think I have with it is the forearms. Like I don't like how much black is like he has a little bit of red in the elbow bit, but then it's fully black, and then he has red fingers. But I like the red and black though. It's very much a callback to original Amazing Fantasy Steve Ditko Spider-Man. Red and black Spider-Man looks good. Like it's a bit much, but it is better in my opinion than the red and blue suit he had previously. Like it makes it feel more like it's his suit. Like this makes it feel more like this is the Tom Holland suit because it's so unique compared to the others.
Okay. I mean, I do like how Tom Holland. Well, I guess not anymore, but the red and black kind of became like his identifier for Spider-Man. Is because I mean that was like one of the most frustrating things about No Way Home is that like Toby and Andrew's suit looks so similar, and so like when they're swinging together, you can't really tell who's who.
I was gonna on
Um,
that note actually, in a way where I kind of wish when Andrew Garfield showed up in No Way Home, I kind of wish he wore his Amazing One suit. I kind of wish
yeah,
in No Way Home Tom Holland was wearing this suit.
yeah, and I mean he was when they filmed it, but they CG'd the stupid gold spider over it. Um, but yeah, I mean it's I don't know if it's my favorite Holland suit. It might be. It's just kind of like they all look just too similar to me, and this one isn't really. I don't think it's too much better than the red and blue. I think I'm gonna go either C or B for this
I was
one.
gonna say B actually, but how about you, Carlos?
I was gonna put it at A. It's just a well translated suit that I like. I think it's kind of up there with the Stark suit. I prefer the Stark suit
Okay.
personally, but I do love like the texture on the black on this one. Um, I prefer the No Way Home version, even though it's basically the same. The only difference is like the waistline is like more pointed. Um, but um, but yeah, I think it's a good Tom Holland suit. Still not my favorite, but it's there. And and yeah, like you said, it's unique. The black is good. It's A for me.
Okay. So I guess with all that, that averages to a B. So upgraded suit gets a B. All right. Next is the stealth suit, also from Far From Home. It's Night Monkey.
It should have been called Night Monkey.
What are your
I don't
thoughts on
know.
this?
It's probably F. Well, I mean, I guess I should stress I don't really like Far From Home to begin with, and I really when I just like look at this suit, it just doesn't really bring out anything that I like in Spider-Man. It just kind of like it kind of have PTSD from that movie when I look at this
Oh
suit.
my
So
god.
I love it when he gets hit by a train, and that's about as far as this suit goes for me. So I'm gonna say F.
See, like I feel like the only reason they included the suit was to sell more toys. That's all it comes across to me as.
Oh, get
Uh,
ready, we have another one later.
oh man. I was originally gonna say F, but I might bump it up to a D. How about you, Carlos?
I would go B or C.
Okay.
Maybe C because I wouldn't put it. I think we put TASM 2 on B. I feel like, yeah, I would. But it's a movie suit. It's well translated again. Like,
Hmm.
I think this was in the first game too. I don't really use this suit very much, or ever, but it's there. I do like it. Like how it looks in Far From Home. I also love when he gets hit by that train. That's a great moment. That's a great scene. Honestly, maybe one of the best scenes in the movie, in my opinion. I love that part. But yeah, not my fave. B or C, you know.
I guess between that averages to a C between our grades. I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So the Night Monkey gets a C. Next is ooh, yes. Next one is the classic black suit. Oh man, I love this suit. Um, I can. It's. I'm going S. I'm jumping the
Yeah.
gun. I'm going S. It's very pretty.
I agree, and I also another thing about this suit. This is like really the only suit that comes to mind where none of the styles feel wasted. Like there isn't just that one that's like, well, why did you do this? It's like all of them look amazing, and just yeah, having this suit in the game, like it's incredible. It looks so beautiful.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna say S as well.
And how about you, Carlos?
I mean, not my favorite. I do like. I know. I'm sorry. I do like the suit variations though. Like I really love the red and blue lighting one.
Yes,
That
great
that one
callback to the '90s animated series.
that suit variant kind of carries it for me. And I appreciate that they did like a more purpley one as well. I would go like A. I just wish it was like. I don't like how like kind of textureless it looks. Like it has texture, but it's like very like it doesn't look like a suit. It kind of looks like skin. It kind of reminds me of like yeah, I don't know. It looks like a statue. It kind of looks like a statuesque.
See, I want to give it
But I
an
love
S
the
because I love how slick it is. Like I love how and it's basically how I want the symbiote to look. Like very Tar esque. So I like that about it. That's why I really like this suit. But I mean like the black suit is just a cool alternate take on the Spider-Man look. Like the big white spider is iconic. Like the little white patches on the hands. I mean, we'll get to the in-game ones in a bit, but it's that, but complicated. But I'm glad this isn't
I'll,
because it's how I imagine Black Suit Spider-Man in my head. Like the eyes are a bit bigger, but I mean they're a little more McFarlane than say the Secret Wars first appearance look. But still, I think it looks really great.
I'll go S for the red and blue lighting variant. That'll I'll
I'll
give it
take
the
it.
S. And because it makes so many people happy, I'll give it an S.
There we go. You're more diplomatic than I am. I will say that. Oh man. Uh, so next is the Iron Spider suit. Okay. I think this is worse than the last Iron Spider suit because at least that last suit, it was like an Iron Man, Spider Man look. Like that's what it was. That's the purpose from the comics anyway. The Civil War story. It's like a streamlined red and gold, but like, this is a Spider Man suit, but so much worse. Like like all the panel linings and extra details. It's everything about every kind of wrong Spider-Man that I don't all mashed into one. I mean, obviously we're talking about the game and how it's implemented in the game, but Homecoming ends with him being like, you know what? I don't need your fancy iron suit. I'm gonna be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And then because the next film was Infinity War, it was like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's just way too busy. It's really overcomplicated. Um, I like it when Doc Ock tears it up a little bit, but I just wish Tom Holland's suit just got a little bit more beat up. So I guess it has that going for it. It does get more beat up than the other ones, but um, the only kind of, I mean, this again, another one where the arms change. They're meant to match Infinity War, like the red arms. Although I think they're gold in No Way Home, and they might be gold in Infinity War if I remember. I don't know, but they're red in here, so it doesn't matter. um, I don't know where to rank this. Maybe C, maybe D.
I was gonna say D, but Carlos, can you turn this around?
I mean, I don't know if I can convince you guys, but I mean, I like this suit. I like this suit in the movies a
Mm.
lot. Did he use it too much? Maybe, like it's not my favorite of them, but I do like how it looks, especially in No Way Home. Like that whole Doc Ock fight scene with the Iron Spider suit, I think is like the best it's ever looked. I love how he uses the Iron Spider arms there. But again, we're not talking about the movies, we're talking about the games. And and also like the suit up scene in Infinity War is so cool. And anyway, it smells like a new car in here or whatever.
Great line.
Um, yeah, I like this suit. I don't hate it. I think it's cool that we can use it again. I do find like a satisfaction in like watching like the character do something in the movies and then being able to do it in the games, right? Like being able to now use the spider arms and the web pits in this game with the Tom Holland suits where he did the same in the movies. I do find like a sort of satisfaction in that. Um, so I think that's cool. That being said, I didn't use it that much. I'll go again A B for me.
Okay. So I guess
Take for
between our
that. Which,
grades, it averages to a C, I guess.
I think I put it at
You
D.
put it at
I'm,
D.
I'm going to say D.
Okay, you're going to stay at D. Okay, so I'm sorry, Carlos. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Iron Spider Suit gets a D. I'm
you know,
sorry.
I just gotta try. You know, I gotta try.
I do admire your efforts. I will applaud you for that at the very least.
One more thing is that the web
Mhm.
arms or the web pits, and he uses them in No Way Home for a brief second, but like they're kind of nanotechy look, like they match how the suit looks, and in the game they don't have that. It's just the normal web pits. So that was kind of disappointing.
Yeah. All right. Well, next is the new red and blue suit, as seen from the very end of Spider-Man: No Way Home. Uh, I like it. I give it a B.
I'm either at a B or an A for this suit.
Okay.
Because I mean I love what it's going for, but it's just really hard to judge this thing when all you have to go by is a 30-second CG swing, and it looks great, and I love it like in the snow and
I
everything.
agree with that.
But like I just need to see more of it. I need to see like more of it in action, and I need to see like an actual real version of this suit before I can really praise it anymore. So I think B's fair. I think I'll put it in B.
Okay. How about you, Carlos?
This is an S tier suit for me. This is, even despite not seeing it in live action yet, uh, this is my favorite Tom Holland live action suit and my favorite live action Spider-Man suit in general. Like the design is perfect in my opinion. I love the spider. I love the indented black webbing. I love the face shell and the eyes. Like those are the perfect Spider-Man eyes. I love the colors of the red and the blue, the shiny blue texture to it. It's perfect. This is my favorite classic suit in this game. Like I put that in the notes that like if I had to choose between like the Insomniac classic suit or this one, I use this one way more. Um, and it's a new suit that gets points because we haven't seen this in a game before. Um, 10 out of 10 for me. S tier. No Way Home final suit. I hope it's in Spider-Man 4. Can't wait. Yeah, this is I think again best classic suit in the game for me.
Fair enough. So you said it was a B, Chris?
I said B. Yeah.
Okay, so it averages to a B then. So new red and blue suit gets a B. Okay, next is the black and gold suit, also seen from No Way Home. So this is the suit inside out. So here's the thing about this suit. Again, like I've said, I don't like gold on Spider-Man. Like I just think it looks weird. It looks tacky on him. But so like, I think if you were to look at this suit from a distance, like if you're at a football field, you looked across and you saw this suit, you just squinted like, oh, that's just a black and gold Spider-Man. But then when you get up close, you see he's got all these wires sticking out. And again, like I said, the gimmick of this is that it's the suit inside out. So you're telling me that all those wires and diodes are just making contact with Tom Holland's flesh? Like, no, ain't no way. Ain't no way. Like, I think if he had the duct tape phone on his chest, it would add a bit more character because, I mean,
That'd be fun.
that scene in the movie is one of the funniest scenes in any Spider-Man movie. It's me, Flint Marco. Do you remember? Thank you for saying your name, Sandman. Did you kill that guy? I, I really appreciate it. I mean, this suit sucks. S for sucks. Put it in S tier.
Um, yeah, I mean, really, bottom line, this is just a suit to sell more toys.
Yes, yes.
Um, so, I mean, If the phone, I mean, I like that it has like the Doctor Strange like web shooter thingy on it. Like that's kind of cool. But I do wish it had like the phone duct tape on the spider logo. That just would have made it a little bit more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't know where it's either D or F for me. I'll be a little bit generous and say D.
Okay.
Like the wires, sure they don't really make sense, but I mean it is a nice attention to detail that they put those in there. So I'm gonna say D.
I was also gonna lean D as well. How about you, Carlos?
This is kind of like the stealth suit in Far From Home for me, where it's like I don't really have any particular feeling towards it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I will say, now that you mentioned the phone, now I can't stop thinking about that. I really wish the phone was in there now. That would have been so funny. Um, but yeah, I mean, I do like that it has the Doctor Strange thing. Um, Turning the Spider-Man suit inside out is an interesting idea. I do remember when in Homecoming they're like hacking the suit, seeing some of the wires then, and being like, "That's cool." I kind of like the idea of like the inside having like these like thin kind of like iPhone type rubbery wire things. That's kind of neat, interesting, uh, explanation for everything. But yeah, I mean, it's not my favorite. I can't lie. So I'll go again, kind of like B wherever I put the stealth suit. It's probably where I put this one.
But unfortunately, our two D's override it, so it is a D. Black and gold suit is a D. It's weird that this is like the last suit you can unlock when you level
Yeah, I
up.
was gonna mention that.
That doesn't make any sense to me. All right, well, next up is the side mission suits. So we're starting things off with the life story suit. So I have a bit of context to say about this suit because Chris, you've not read Life Story, have you?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so first some game context, so we could talk about this. So in the game, the way you unlock this suit is you do all the Harry science side missions, and then basically the gimmick is that Harry gives you this suit as a gift for doing all these missions. And it's called Life Story because it's based on the Life Story book by Chip Zdarsky. Life Story was a bit divisive. Not everybody loved it, but I thought it was great. It's like, what if the Spider-Man story was told in real time? Like, if he was a teenager during the 60s, realistically, he would be an old man by today. So, decade by decade, it tackles all of the major Spider-Man stories, but as if he were to actually age in real time. So, this suit comes in later in his life. Like, he needs a spacesuit, where he and Miles tackle the superior storyline in a modern way. So, it's weird that they made it a canon in-game suit you get from Harry, but it's also based on a comic where he's old man Spider-Man that goes to space. Like, that's just such a weird choice to me. I don't get it. How about you, Carlos?
I love this suit. I'm really glad it's in here. I was hoping to see some Life Story suits in the game, and I think this is maybe the best of the Life Story original designs. So I'm really happy that it's here. I love like the space helmet vibe. I really love this suit. This is an S tier suit for me. Um, but I do agree it is kind of interesting that Harry gives it to you. Now I guess thematically it kind of checks out with how Peter's kind of aging and retiring in this universe as well. Um, and I like, another thing. I really like that Miles, I mean, not to skip ahead too much, I like that Miles has his Life Story suit also. Because one of my favorite things to do in the game was like, if I gave Peter a suit, I would want Miles to kind of like match the color scheme or the vibe.
Okay.
So I like that they have matching Life Story suits, and I just like this design. I love Life Story, so that's an S tier suit for me.
How about you, Chris?
Um, so originally, like when I was just playing around with it, I was thinking D tier, just because I didn't know the story, and I do think it is weird that you get it from Harry after doing all the side missions. But I think I might bump it up, maybe even to B tier, just
Okay.
because, and kind of like going what Carlos said is that like I like that this is something you can easily pair with Miles because I try to do that too, where it's just like when I'm playing around as Peter and you can run into Miles at certain crimes, it's kind of neat to have like matching outfits like that. So I think I'm gonna put B tier with this
Okay.
suit.
I was gonna say D, but I guess that averages out to a B then between all of our grades.
Yeah.
So Life Story suit gets a B. All right. Next is the Last Hunt suit. This is the suit you get for doing all those Craven missions. Uh, he looks more like the Shocker than he does Craven in terms of the color scheme. Um, so it kind of looks kind of tokusatsu, and I like that about it, but it doesn't feel very Spider-Man to me. Like I don't think it's an awful suit, but it's not a Spider-Man suit to me. So there's that. What do you guys think?
I think it's a cool idea. Like I kind of like it when you kind of get like the villain's version of a Spider-Man suit. I think it worked well in the first game with like Mr. Negative, how you have that suit
Mm-hmm.
because I mean it makes sense. You can get corrupted like that, and so it's. I'm not a huge fan of this one though. Like it's. I played around with it just to have an idea of how it looks, and I'll probably never play with it again. Even though Miles has basically the same thing, and so you can pair it up that way, but I don't know. It's just not doing much for me. I'm gonna say D tier.
Mm. How about you, Carlos?
I'm gonna put it at S or A. I'll go A because I didn't use it much, but I really respect the idea. I think it's a really cool idea. I love the fur and everything. Like this is like it's a really cool touch to add the fur, and I like that you get it after beating the Craven side missions. Like I like suits that you get as rewards for side missions. I like the fur and the idea of doing a Craven suit. It doesn't feel like Spider-Man, and I didn't use it much, but it also pairs really well again with the Miles Craven suit and also the Miles Mysterio suit, which we'll talk about later. So I think this is an A. Like I really respect the original design from Insomniac on this one. I'll go A. I'll go A.
Okay. Unfortunately, I'm going D as well. So it last hunt suit averages to a D. I'm sorry, Carlos. All right, next suit is the saving lives suit, and
Uh,
I don't know about you guys. This is an ugly, ugly looking suit. I do not like it.
Kind of the same deal with Craven. It's like I respect kind of what they're going for, just having the Wraith inspired Spider-Man suit.
Mm-hmm.
But again, same deal with Craven. Like I just only wore it the one time just to get a feel for it, and I'll probably never wear it again. So I think it's just going straight to D.
Carlos.
I never wore this suit. I like the idea of doing a Wraith suit, and I
Mm-hmm.
like the idea of getting it after doing all the Wraith Flame missions. Like, I think in theory that's really cool, but it doesn't even feel much like Wraith to me because, like, when I picture Wraith, I picture comic book Wraith with like the ropes or like
Yeah.
the strands and everything. I kind of wish it had some of that going on. Maybe I think this is like a C tier for me. I'm not huge on this one.
Yeah. I'm going D as well. So yeah. So the saving lives suit will get a D. All right. We're approaching the end of the Peter Parker suits. We are now at the goo suits. Okay. First up is the black suit. What are you guys' thoughts on this one?
I like it quite a bit. I just think there's a little too many patterns. It's like when I think of the black suit, I think of like how sporadic it is. I don't really, seeing it in like such a uniform like this. It's kind of a little bit weird. So I mean, I'll jump the gun a little bit, but I do like the symbiote suit more.
Mm-hmm.
But I still do like the suit overall. I'll probably put it either A or B.
So I want to like this suit because I do like the texture of the head and chest, but I don't get the sort of like weird underarm, like kind of like it has the texture as if it were a real suit, where it's like, oh, the parts you want to move are a different fabric or whatever than the parts that would be hard and armored, and you're like, sure, but this is alien goo. Why does it have to be realistic bits to it? Like I don't get it. Like I want to like this, like I really do, but I don't get why he has all these weird different textures to it. Like it look, you know what it looks like? It looks like a fruit roll up landed on the carpet, and it's all gross looking. And I don't. I'm leaning C actually.
Okay.
How about you, Carlos? Can you save this?
This is an S tier suit. This is S for symbiote. This is Insomniac's symbiote design, and it goes hard. Oh my god, I love the texture of this suit and the multiple textures, right? Because like you said, it has the more like muscly textures, but then it has like the even gooier. Oh, it's so gooey. I love it.
I do
Symbiotes are
love that the
gooey.
goo actually moves on the suit. Like I think that's a really cool, creepy detail.
So cool. I love that the goo moves. I love how it meshes. This is another thing because like when you use the symbiote abilities look gooey too. It looks perfect coming out of this. And I think another thing that makes me like this and the next one that we'll talk about as well is just like I feel like Yuri Lowenthal's performance really sells it also. I love this design. I love the symbiote arc in this game in general. This is an S tier suit for me. It's maybe my favorite symbiote suit in the game. Maybe.
Fair enough. I forgot to mention this with the classic black suit. I mentioned that I don't really like to play around with alternate suits during the game story, but the classic black suit was the one I was most tempted to use during the game. I will say that. So I guess we have different grades. So I guess this averages to a B.
I'm actually gonna intervene here, and I'm bumping mine to S.
Oh.
Yes!
Oh, no!
And I think it's just also, I'll get into it when we talk about the symbiote suit, but I think it just pairs nicely with it, so I'm going to say S.
Okay, alright, so I am overruled, so the black suit gets an S. You did it, Carlos. You turned the tide. Alright.
Yes.
S for symbiote. Okay. But next is the symbiote suit. So this is... he's Angry Spider-Man. This one is grosser, therefore I think it's better, and I don't know how explicit I'm allowed to be on this podcast, so I'll do it after what we got Lisa to say in the Mary Jane episode. This suit makes him look like he's covered with dick veins. It's gross. And I love it. I like how the spider is more angry, and so it's more spread out. So it's not quite like the Mac Gargan Venom logo, but it's not exactly the classic logo either. And I like this more than the regular suit.
Yeah, I do like this more overall than the normal black suit. And kind of what you were saying, I just love like just how, just all over the place the symbiote is, and it just looks so good. And the reason why I bumped the black suit to S tier, and it's just because it ties into this suit, is because I love it, like the great attention to details on black suit. Like I mentioned earlier with like Spider-Man 3, is like the arms are crunched in, which is what a spider does when it dies. And then with like Spectacular Spider-Man, is like each episode that he has the black suit, it changes slightly to just become more like black and solid. And then same thing with this suit, is that like it's changing, it's evolving, and I just love when the black suit does that, and it just looks so fantastic here. This is S tier all the way.
Okay, Carlos, what are your thoughts on this?
Another S tier symbiote suit. This one is S for scary, because man, he was scary when he was in this mode. That MJ mission, terrifying. Even just swinging around as him and like going to Kraven's hideout, like where is he? Oh my god, he was so scary. Love
shout out to Yuri
Absolutely
Lowenthal
love
once
it.
again. Just great performance as the symbiote Spidey.
Yes. Oh, and I think it was in this suit where he says my favorite line in the whole game. I think he says it twice actually, where he's like, "It makes me a better Spider-Man." Oh, it's so good. Absolutely love this suit. It's creepy. The angry eyes. It's kind of like simpler than the first version, but also more dick veiny. I'll say it. Like I love it.
You can say Snickers veins. It's okay.
Snickers, yes. S for Snickers. S for scary. This gets all the S's. Love this suit. Top tier.
Actually, I was originally going to say B, but you bumped me up to an S, actually. So I will go all in. I will say S as well.
Let's
You
go.
did it. Okay, so symbiote suit gets an S. Okay, and final suit for Peter Parker is the anti-Venom suit. This is the suit you get at the very end of the game. Carlos, you seem to want to talk about this one.
This might be... It's hard to compete with the past two. I think it's right on par, though. It's very high up there. It's S for me. I think it's such a cool idea to have Peter have the anti-venom suit. Like, we've never seen that before in the comics. I mean, obviously we've seen anti-venom, and they even bring it to life in the same way that they do in the books with Martin Lee. Um, but to have it be Peter is so unique and cool, and I think it was a really cool surprise for me. Like, this suit was one of the biggest surprises in the game. So this gets an S for surprise. I love how sleek it is. I love the sleekness of it. I think it's so original and cool and surprising, and it fits Peter's arc, and I really love this suit. And I guess I might be more positive on this one than other people, maybe because I am like such a like slot shill, and I'm like, oh, anti-venom, like I love anti-venom, and like switching from the superior suit to this like pleases a nerdy itch in my brain that I didn't know existed. I really rock with it. I love how it's also kind of like an evolution of like what made Insomniac Spider-Man iconic? The white spider logo. What does he get at the end of this game? All white suit. Like, his whole thing is wanting to help people. With this suit, he can heal people. Like, I think it's such a cool evolution for him. I think it's a really, really cool suit. And yeah, it's S for me. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
You might have actually upsold me on this one, actually.
I think you did for
Yeah,
me
because
too.
like
Yeah.
as an anti-venom suit, it's a little interesting because it's not quite what the suit looks like in the comics. I mean, it is white and it's inverted, but like I don't know if they went the full anti-venom route. Like, it just kind of looks like the future Foundation suit to me, which is not in this game. That suit. They didn't put that suit in this game, but I guess it's because it looks too similar to this plot point suit. But you might have upsold me, actually. I was going to originally say C, but you might have upsold me to a B.
So I was originally going to say A for this suit because I mean I love how it's used in the story, and just the fact that we actually have anti-venom in this game is kind of crazy. And yeah, and I think it looks sleek. I think it looks really nice and smooth, which is a nice contrast to the black suit. But the reason why I'm kind of upsold about it is that, like, Carlos mentioned, and it was like something I remember when I played it, was like, I was so surprised to see this in the game. Because I was, graceful enough to not have anything spoiled in this game, unlike Miles in the first game.
Well, not being on Twitter helps quite a bit.
Yeah, yeah. And getting to that point in the game where you get this suit, like, I was genuinely shocked, and I was like just really happy to be playing around with it, because I knew like something had to happen, because you're upgrading all of like Venom's abilities, and that can't just go away when he loses the black suit. And I think it's just really neat how they integrated this suit with the gameplay and the story. So I'm gonna actually say S. This bumps up to S for me.
Now, do you reckon, with the third game, because each of the final boss battles, he's had to either make or acquire a new suit to fight the big bad? If the Green Goblin is the villain of the third game, do you reckon he's going to get the Oscorp suit?
I hope not. And the reason why I say that is just because it's just like, I just kind of want to see him with what he has. That's what I liked about the ending of the Miles game, is that he doesn't make a new suit. He just goes in with what he has, and and it gets torn up. It gets torn to pieces at the end of that game. But it's great, and I kind of want to see that in the third game.
Fair enough. All right, so I guess this averages out to an S. So anti-venom suit is an S, and that wraps up the Peter Parker suits. We're halfway there, guys. All right, now we're talking the Miles Morales suits, and we're going to kick things off with the upgraded suit. And not to jump ahead too much, I think this is my favorite Miles suit in the game.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Yeah, they gave him like Nightwing stripes, so that's kind of interesting. I'm going to say yes. I like the texture. I like the shiny red. It looks like Miles without it being a departure, which I like. How about you, Carlos?
Yeah, I'd go S. I think it's a really good Miles look. I also like the arms, the arm stripe. Right. It reminds me of the Across the Spider-Verse suit in a way, with how that one has stripes down the side, but this is just on the arms. I think it's really good. I think it's up there for me. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's definitely up there.
Fair enough. Where would you grade it, Chris?
I would say S as well, because yeah, it's kind of comparing it to the classic suit in a way. It's I like that it's not as gray as the classic suit. There's something about it, the classic one, where it's just way too gray for some reason, and I like that the black is just more defiant on this one, and the arms too. I just really fell in love with. I didn't expect to, but they're actually really great.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say S.
There we go. So the upgraded suit gets an S. All right, next up is the family business suit. And this is going to be a common theme, I'll say, with the Miles Morales suits, where it just doesn't feel like Miles Morales to me. It, you'd probably think I'd have an issue with the gold on the suit. I actually like how subdued the gold is on this suit. I've talked a lot about the stupid gold suits, but for a lot of Peter suits, they were really bold and brash, and they belonged in the trash. This one is a bit unpolished gold on a flat black, and I prefer that. But what about this is Miles? Like, not much so it's like a fine Spider-Man suit, but it's nothing special to me. I'm going C on this one.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page. I will say this though, they're one of the styles of the suits has like the Prower colors,
Mhm.
and I think it looks better on this suit than the actual Prower suit that Miles has in the game. So that bumps it up a little bit. I'm gonna say C. I was originally gonna put it in D, but I'm gonna say C as well.
All right, Carlos.
I would go A. I think this suit pairs well with a lot of Peter suits. Like I found myself like pairing it with like Iron Spider, etc. And I don't have a picture of the variants on me right now, but I do think I remember it having some like cool ones. I'll go A. I think it's from the comics also. Like I think his uncle uses it in like
Yeah, I
the
was gonna say, I
Bendis
think that was
616
his uncle that used it.
Yeah. So yeah, A for me.
Unfortunately, our C's overrule, so family business suit gets a C. All right, next is the classic suit. We kind of talked, Chris. You kind of talked about this earlier. I mean, it's a classic Miles design. I agree. I think the upgrade suit is an improvement overall. So we gave that an S. I would give this an A.
I was gonna say the same. I'll do an A for this one.
Okay. How about you, Carlos?
I'll go A as well. You know, it's classic.
All right.
Miles.
Look at us. We're all in agreement. The process works. All right. Next is the tracksuit. This one kind of reminds me of a Batman and Robin toy I had as a kid. So for that instance, I like it. I think the white works better on Miles than it does on Peter, personally. I like this. Like, it doesn't beat the other ones we've discussed, but I do think it looks good.
It kind of surprised me like how much I like this one because yeah, initially when you look at it, it's like, wow, that kind of looks, pretty busy, but it really isn't. It's pretty simple. It's just the white is kind of overwhelming, but like in a good way on the suit. And I actually kind of like this one. This is one of my favorite like alternate suits in the game. So I don't know where I would rank it. I think it's either A or S for me.
I was going to say A for this one.
I think I might say A as well. Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Carlos?
I think this is an S for me because this was my, I think, well, there was a couple other suits I really loved in the Miles game as well that we'll see later. But this was one of my favorites from the Miles game, and I especially loved how it looked in the snow in that game. I think it's a really cool original design. It really pops with the white, and the black on this suit is even blacker than on the classic suit, interestingly enough. But I think another thing is like the color variants are really cool on this one. It has like the black and red one and like the red and blue one. And I forgot to mention the more like Peter Parker looking variants on a couple of the earlier suits as well. Yeah, I think this is an S for me. I would go S.
All right.
Yeah.
I think I might bump it up to an S as well.
Oh.
Yeah, I forgot about the variants, and yeah, they're actually pretty neat on this one.
So the track suit gets an S. Okay, next up is the Brooklyn 2099 suit. So for me, this is one of a few suits in this game where they kind of give off Jason Todd vibes for me. This is like as if Jason Todd were the Arkham Knight for me. Uh, I don't like it.
I'm not a huge fan of it either. I was originally going to put F, but there are a few suits in this game that kind of saved me because I am a sucker for the lights on Spider-Man. Like I know it doesn't really fit, but it's really cool to look at and take pictures with and fight crime with. So I think I might bump this up to a D.
Okay. I was gonna say D as well, but how about you, Carlos?
I also like suits with lights. I really, I think that's why maybe, like the worldwide suit was like my favorite suit in the PS4 game,
Mhm.
because it was so shiny and pretty. Um, I didn't, but when it comes to this suit, I forgot about this. I didn't remember this suit. When I saw the suit, I was like, "What?" I never used it. But I looked up the suit variants, and it has a pretty cool looking blue and black variant. So maybe I'll go back and use that next time I play the game. I don't know. I'll go B for blue variant. Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Well, we both said D, so it is going in the D, in the dump. All right. Next up is the sportswear suit. This is a fun suit. It's funny. It's very New York. He's got a big puffy jacket like George Costanza. Like it feels appropriate for the Miles character, so I appreciate that about it.
I think the suit looks better in the snow.
I agree with
But
that. I do agree with that.
yeah, but I mean it's still great, and I love that it has different variants with the color corrected mask.
Hmm.
Even though the suit itself isn't accurate to Miles' actual suit, but that's fine. It's still a really good suit, and I love the one of the variants is like how his jacket looks in the Spider-Verse movies.
That's right.
So that was really cool. So I might go either A or S on this one
I was
because
gonna
I
say
do love
B.
like
I was gonna go B on this one personally.
you're
But
gonna
how
go
about
B.
you, Carlos?
I would go A.
Okay.
I'm a sucker for a Spider-Man suit with civilian clothes on top
I
of
was
I am
gonna
it.
say
too.
that
I am too,
too.
actually.
Yeah, I kind of wish Peter had some, to be honest. But no, yeah, this is good. I liked it in the Miles game. I also missed the snow. I wonder if they'll add that with like the new game plus and stuff. We'll see. And like you pointed out, I also like the Spider-Verse color scheme variant. So I'll go A for this one.
All right. So I guess it averages to an A then. Sportswear suit is an A. All right. Next up is Miles's life story suit. Carlos, do you want to kick this off?
That's an S for me. The pairing with Peter. I love Life Story. I did use this suit quite a bit for Miles. This is one of my favorites. I could settle for A, but it's one of my faves for sure in the game.
Mm. Chris.
I'm probably gonna say B because I think that's what I gave the Peters version, and it's really just kind of about that pairing up the two suits, and
Right.
that's kind of cool. I will say I kind of like this design more than Peters, but maybe that's just me. Um, yeah, I'll say B.
I was gonna say D, but I guess it averages out to a B in the end. So life story suit gets a B. All right. Next up is the Miles Morales 2099 suit. Um, I like it more than the Brooklyn one. I'll say that. But again, it's just it doesn't feel very Miles to me. Like I don't get Miles from this. Like he
You
has,
switch sides.
yeah, he has, he has the Miguel logo, but I don't really have a Miles 2099 vibe. Like it just looks like a Spider-Man suit with a hood, which I've already established is bad. Um,
I think it looks good on this suit though. I like it on
okay,
this.
fair enough. Actually, I think of the hooded Spider-Man, this is probably the best one.
Yeah, and I like the glowing eyes, and it's I just kind of see it as just like a nice mesh of Miles and
Mhm.
Miguel, and yeah, it's a solid suit. I'd probably say B.
I'll
I'm
be
gonna say A
generous. I'll
actually.
be
I'm gonna say
generous and
A.
say C.
Oh wow, that's generous.
I could go lower, but I'll be generous and say C. How about you,
I'm gonna
Carlos?
say A with this
Okay.
suit.
I might I might join Chris at A. I was thinking
Okay.
B, but I might go to A. I might like this. Just personally, I might like this 2099 more than Peter's 2099. I just really like the colors. I like how like neat it is.
Hmm.
I think it's a pretty suit. Now it doesn't have the black and red like variant that Peter had for his 2099 suit. Kind of weird to compare these. I don't know why I am. I've also never seen this suit in anything else other than the game, so
Hmm.
um, I can't put it at S. But I didn't use it much either. But I think it's pretty, so I'm gonna go A. I'm gonna go A for pretty.
There we
Yeah.
go. All right, so that suit gets an A. All right, next is the advanced tech suit, and I think this is a lame suit. I gotta be honest.
Yeah, it's just doesn't do anything really special for me. I'm gonna probably say D with this
I'm
one.
with you there. I'm going D. How about you, Carlos?
I mean, I don't really feel anything about this one. I'll go like C. I don't know.
All right,
I don't have many thoughts.
all right. Two C's and a D, or two D's and a C, and that makes it a D. Okay, next is the shadow spider suit. I don't like this. F. I'm going F.
I'm gonna go F as well. It's kind of pairing up the Arachnite suit for Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Although it looks like he has a mustache on this suit, and I just get that out of my head now. Um, I'm gonna say F.
Carlos.
I'm gonna fight for this suit,
Okay.
just like I fought, just like I fought for Arachnite and Civil War. And again, this is a suit I didn't really use, but this is a suit that made a lot of people pretty excited. Like I have a friend Khaled who's a huge Miles Morales fan, and he's cosplayed as this suit. He geeked
Oh,
out when he
cool.
saw it revealed. I remember when this suit was revealed, like online, not for the game, but like in the books. And like back then, I was like, "Whoa, is like Miles' status quo about to change?" Not really, but I think it's from the comics. It has a cape, and I think it's unique and pretty nicely translated. So I'm gonna put it at A, personally.
Well fought, but unfortunately you lost, so it's an F. All right,
I gotta try.
is
I gotta try.
next is the Miles Morales 2020 suit. Uh, AKA the Daft Punk suit. So for that, I give it a D. And I like Daft Punk, but I
Um,
don't like the suit.
I might put it at B. I had a lot of fun playing around with
Okay.
this suit. Um, Although it's kind of the same thing with the life story suit is that you get this suit in the Miles game after doing all like the spider training missions.
Hmm.
But I mean, it's different. It's really out there. But it kind of works for me in a way. So
Okay.
I'm gonna say B.
All right, Carlos. What is your grade?
I love Daft Punk, and I loved this suit in the Miles game with the snow, and like I think it's so cool. I would give it an A personally. Um, yeah, I would go A for this one. I didn't use it very much this time around, but I did like it a lot in the Miles game, and again, I love Daft Punk, so I like that cool mask and
Yeah.
jacket. So
There you go. Chris, what was your? It was a B, right?
I gave it a B. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess it averages to a B in the end. So we'll say B. Miles Morales 2020 suit is a B. All right. Speaking of music, next is the Purple Rain suit.
The
Uh,
flashbacks.
oh man, the lengths you took to get this suit in the Miles Morales game, all for nothing, all for this.
All for this.
You know what? This is not a reward. This was a punishment for doing those Uncle Aaron missions in the Miles game. Uh,
Um,
for that, I give it a C.
I was gonna say D.
Oh,
I mean, it's neat. Like I like what they're going for with this, but once again, I think the variant of the family business suit just looks better than this suit. I mean, that's just me, but I don't know. It's something about this. It's just not really doing much for me.
okay. All right, Carlos. Can you turn the tide?
I'll try. I mean, this was another one I really loved in the Miles game because, like, to me, this feels more like his uncle than the family business suit. this is like the like Aaron Davis like Prowler homage suit to me. I think it's a really cool homage to the Prowler. It's got the villain color scheme, and I don't know. I think it's just a neat like it runs in the family suit. You know, I don't know. Like it's kind of like his edgy suit. um, yeah, I mean, did I use it much in this game? No, but I think it's a neat original design homaging the Prowler. I'll go A
Okay.
personally.
So I guess between an A, a C, and a D, that would equate to a C, I guess.
That's fine. Yeah.
All right. So Purple Rain suit gets a C. All right. Next is the Bodega cat suit. This is one of those gimmicky suits, but I kind of love it. It's purely because of the cat for me. That's what makes it for me because like the cat. Like if you take photos with the suit, you can also make the cat pose, and it's just
Oh, I
great.
didn't know that. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and then like if you're swinging, like the cat's just hanging on for dear life in the backpack. It's just so funny. I love it. I'll say a B for this one.
Okay, well, I think I had it at A, but
Okay.
I might keep it at A.
All
I mean
right.
that's really great details. I love the photo mode options for the cat. That's so great. And the different styles too. It could change the cat's mask, which is
Mhm.
also really cool. Yeah, it's just a really solid suit overall. I'm going to say A.
All right. How about you, Carlos?
This is an S tier suit. This is maybe my favorite Miles suit in the game. It was my favorite in the Miles Morales game as well, and it's
Okay.
even better in this one because the black variant is so awesome. That
Mm.
variant goes so hard. And I mean, me personally, I'm such a sucker for Spider-Man with a backpack, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
we've got Spider-Man with a backpack here. He's a student. Like it checks out. It's got a hoodie, but it's like not on. It's like casual wear, so it checks my itches, right? It's got like civilian clothes on Spider-Man, major plus. It's got backpack on Spider-Man, major plus. The black variant again goes hard, but then on top of all of that, the cat, right? And the cat not only looks cute when it's swinging, not only looks cute in the photos, but it also helps you in the takedowns. That takedown where the cat pops out of the backpack and hits the guy, this is S tier. This is my favorite Miles look, I think, or up there at least.
There we
So good.
go. So I guess with all that, that averages to an A. So Bodega cat suit is an A. Speaking of cats, next up is the Forever suit, and let me be the first to say, I think this suit is embarrassing. Like, I think it's really dorky that they put in this Black Panther suit. Like, what association does he have with Black Panther in the game? Come on.
Yeah, I'm right up there with you, and I don't use the suit at all. It's just, I mean, I'm already not a huge fan of like having different Marvel heroes like have their inspired outfits for like Spider-Man because I mean we have a Wolverine one later, but it's just like seeing Black Panther Wolverine swing around. It looks goofy. I don't. It just doesn't do anything for me, and it just feels I don't know. Like I guess it's a tribute to Chadwick Boseman,
Yeah.
and as Miles and only as Miles, you can go up to the like Wakanda embassy and do the Wakanda Forever pose. Um, it's just so bizarre that they did this. So I might go D tier on this.
Yeah, I'm going D as well. But what about you, Carlos?
I like the suits inspired by other heroes. You know, I think they're like fun. Is this my favorite of them? No, but I do think it's like, well, you can only do this with Miles, so like, why not? I don't know. And he does have the Wakanda Forever salute, and I think the black variant and the purple variant that are more Black Panthery, I like those. I like those even better. Um, but again, it's not my favorite, but I think it's fun. I'll go A, maybe
Okay.
B.
Well,
I don't know.
unfortunately, it's a D, Carlos.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
I respect it.
There we go. All right. Well, next up is the homemade suit, and uh, he's got Tim's. uh, but in all seriousness, I mean this one feels too try hard for me. Like it feels like oh, it's the homemade suit. Like, I don't see Miles making this his homemade suit. And also the logo is weird. I don't get it. I'm going F. I'm sorry. This is an F.
I'm not putting this F. I actually kind of like this suit.
Oh.
When we were talking about the Homecoming homemade suit earlier. I mean, this is kind of what I envision a little bit more. You know, I like the goggles on it. The logo's a little weird, but I mean, I really don't mind it, and the variants are kind of cool with it. I'm going to say B for this suit.
All right, Carlos. What about you?
Ah, man, I'm not a fan of this suit.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it is from the comics, I believe. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, is it?
In the Ahmed, I think so. I think in the Ahmed run is when they like
Okay.
kind of. I think they retcon his origin a bit because he's like 616 now.
Okay. I think I'm remembering it now. Okay.
I think that's what this is from. But I'm not huge on the retcon. I'm not huge on the design in the books either. It definitely doesn't come close to the Homecoming homemade suit for me either. But I don't know. I'd go C, personally.
Okay.
I'm going C on this one.
All right. So I guess that averages to a C then. So homemade suit is a C. All right. Next up is here we go. Next up is the Into the Spider-Verse suit. S.
S for Spider-Verse.
There we go. It's an S. I mean, it's such a cool suit. I love that the fact that it incorporates so much stuff from the movie into the suit. I love this. S. How about you, Carlos?
It's kind of like the Raimi black suit, where it's like it might not be my favorite, but it's undeniably S. Like this is an S tier.
There we go.
Yeah,
we did it. We got an S. All right. Next up is the Into the Spider-Verse SB suit. So it's funny. I'll give it that.
All right, maybe I just don't get it. What does SB stand for in this suit?
That's actually a good question.
That's been bugging me ever since I saw this suit was in the game. I was like,
Carlos, do you have an answer?
Man, I kind of wish I looked into that. I never look at the titles for the suits. This is actually my first time seeing.
What is SB? Spider Boy?
That'd be weird.
I guess.
But
I really don't know.
That's interesting. But I mean, I do like this suit. I like the cape. Cape physics. Woo!
I actually.
What's that, Chris?
I was gonna say I really love this suit. I was originally gonna put an A tier, but I'm actually gonna bump it to S tier because I like there are so many like great little details in this suit. Mm-hmm. If you look at his shoes, I mean, one his shoes are untied, which is just like in the movies. But also in the movie, I think they were Nikes, but this game does Adidas, so they have the Insomniac logo on the shoes, which is a nice little touch. And then there's also a price tag. If you swing it right, you can have like the cape kind of reveal the price tag on the suit. And if you look really closely, like in photo mode, you can see it says like Stan's Collectibles or Stan's Costumes. And it says like it always fits eventually on there, which is just such a nice little touch. So
cool.
just because of all those little details, I'm going to say S tier.
You bumped me up. I was originally going to say C because, normally I've been like, oh, I don't like capes and Spider-Man, but I actually like it here. See, I like the suit as a joke in the movie, but I don't know if I necessarily liked it in the game. But you might have upsold me with all those details, so I'll say a B.
Okay.
I'm going S as well.
Okay.
I mean, I love the details. This is like when I think of a Miles homemade suit, I think of him in like the Halloween costume, like from not only this movie but also in the comics. He started in that like Peter training suit, right? So This is like homemade Miles to me, and it's funny. It's from the movie. It's got a cape. I like the mask. I love the Stan Lee connection. Yeah, this is an S tier for me.
There we go. The SB suit is an S. All right, next is the End suit. And see, it does look kind of cool, but it just doesn't scream Spider-Man to me.
It looks like Red Hood, and there actually is a variant that has a red hood.
Oh my god. Like, I think it's not a bad design if this were like a evil character, but it just what about this is Miles? Like I don't get Miles from this. This is a D.
I'm probably gonna say C. Like I agree, it's not really Miles, but I mean it is a neat design at least. So I'm gonna say C.
Hmm. How about you, Carlos?
I'm gonna go B because it's from the books. B for from the books,
B
but
for book.
I can't say I'm like huge on it, so I'll go B.
All right, so that averages to a C. There we go. Next, all right, Carlos. This is the moment we stop being friends. This is the 10th anniversary suit. Oh man. Oh, why don't you kick this one off first? Start positively before we crush your dreams.
So I adore this design, like especially in the books. Like I've always loved this design in the books. Again, civilian wear. It's got great motion when he swings. Like artists make this look really cool. I've always been a huge defender of this design, and I've really looked forward to it in the game. And while I love the top half of this suit, I do have an issue with how it's translated into the game.
Okay.
Um, and it's that I feel like his legs look a little cartoony, and I'm not sure why. Like the proportions of like the knee calf area, the proportions just look a little different compared to the other suits,
Oh, you're
and
right. I'm noticing it
that
now.
it bothers me. It's like a really small thing, but it bothers me because like all the other comic suits are translated to look like realistic, right?
Hmm.
Like Insomniac realistic. So why does this one not follow that trend? I really wish it did because I was so looking forward to using this suit, but the legs for some reason just kind of bother me. So I can't put it at S, even though I really wish I could. I'm gonna go B for books on this one. I was a little. I was it just. I'm sad to do that. If I was just looking at the top half, it'd be an S. But something about the legs trips me up. So I'm gonna go B, unfortunately.
So, I mean, this definitely has like. I mean, there are people that get sort of the youth feel of Miles, and once again, this feels very try hard. Where he's young, we got to give him the shoes, and he's got a cool sweater with like a turtleneck pulled over his face. I just don't get it. I don't. And you might have think that I have an issue with the pink. I actually don't mind the pink on the suit. That's not the problem for me. I just don't. I don't get this. This is an F. I'm sorry, Carlos.
Oh,
I'm gonna say F as well. I
Oh.
just I don't like the mask on the mask. I don't really like the sweater. I don't like the pants. I don't like the shoes. Um, and you know the pink I don't love, but that's really just kind of the least of this suit's problems. I'm gonna say F as well.
All right.
dang.
Well, I feel like with these next few suits, we could. For me personally, I could probably bullet point a few Fs for these next few suits. All right. So, programmable matter suit. That's an F for me.
I'm not gonna say it's an F.
Okay.
I like that the different styles have like different lights on it. Like I said, I'm a sucker for the lights, and I think this is one of the better ones. But
Okay.
not only that, there's also a secret takedown in this suit. So
Oh.
where like it has the iron arms that pop out, and it's only for this suit. But you know, it's a nice little detail. So I might bump it up to maybe even a C. I'll say a C.
All right, Carlos.
Actually, Chris, the family business suit also does the iron arm takedown.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just another point for the family business suit, in my opinion, because I do like that one better. But I do like when suits have like unique aspects, and this is like it also comes kind of like from the narrative of the Miles game. I'll go C on this one.
Okay. All right. So that programmable matter suit is a C. The next is the strike suit. Listen, I think the suit itself is kind of fun, but it doesn't work as a Spider-Man suit to me. So I'm going F.
I'm going F as well. It looks like a deluxe edition suit. It really does. Um, yeah, it not only does it not speak Spider-Man, but it definitely does not speak Miles. This is him. This is him not doing his own thing here. This is just a hodgepodge. So F for sure.
Okay. Carlos.
I just want to read Chris's note on this suit out loud. He just wrote, "What are next?" And I feel like I feel the same. What are next? You know, I'm not gonna fight for this one. You guys can place it wherever.
All right,
I'm
we're
okay.
going F then. Okay. Next up is the Agent of Shield suit. Um, where did we rank Night Monkey?
I don't remember. Let me scroll.
Yeah, I'm scrolling back.
Yeah, because I kind of like this more than Night Monkey personally.
I do too.
I mean,
I do
it's
too.
the Shield suit, so yeah,
We
that's what they
ranked
wear.
Monkey at
But
C.
I just don't see Miles being an Agent of Shield though.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
he does wear this suit on a cover to a comic by Bendis. I think
Yeah,
it's
I
because
do
his
remember
dad.
that one.
Yeah, because his dad was a Shield agent. So, but just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
um, I think like out of all the different like Marvel tie-ins, so this one's probably my favorite just because it's the most subtle. It's just a Shield agent uniform really, and I do like the different styles, how it like kind of matches the different looks of Shield agents throughout Marvel's history. So, um, I might say C for this one.
Okay. I was going to say D, but how about you, Carlos?
I kind of want to bump it up higher. I mean, we all like it more than the stealth suit, and the stealth suit is at C. I feel like it's got to at least be B for books, right? And
Okay,
like
fair enough.
I'm a sucker for when, they do the ties to the wider universe. Like, oh my God, Shield, nice Easter egg. So I like the Easter egg of Shield. It does look like this is what I envision a Shield suit would look like. It especially reminds me of like the Shield suits from like the '90s Spider-Man cartoon.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I think it's pretty. I think it's a nice Easter egg. I feel like it has to be a B at least for me.
Okay. So I guess that averages out to C then. Okay. Next is the Great Responsibility suit. This was from the Miles game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will say I think it's a better starter suit than his knockoff homemade suit in this game. So for that, I give it a B.
I was gonna put B as well. I think I like it more in the Miles game. Like I think it just looks better in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
Not too sure why, but that's just kind of where I envision this suit. But I mean, it's still a fun suit overall, so I'm gonna say a B.
All right, Carlos.
I have a personal attachment to this suit because like the Miles comics were coming out like as I was getting into comics, like keeping up with them when I was younger, right? And like I always loved this suit in the books and like the initial like Ultimate books where he's like first trying out his powers and everything and fighting like what was it like the Ringer where he gets like trapped
I
in the
think it was
rings.
yeah, I think it was Ringer. Then eventually he Kangaroo in his first appearance.
Yeah, so like I've always really liked this suit. I like the pads. I loved it in the Miles game. But I might join you guys at B just because like even though I do like it more than the other homemade suit, I think the cape Spider Verse suit like takes the spotlight away from it now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
might go B as well.
All right. And just on a quick tangent, real quick. I do have a quick story. Chris, you'll know what I'm talking about here in a bit. We are in the presence of the very person that we found. The reason we found out the names of Miles's parents' names, Rio and Jefferson, because this guy here, Chris, wrote a letter to the Spider office at the time and got a response in the book from Bendis and one of his questions was, what are Miles's parents' names? Because at the time, like, I don't think their names were ever said at all in the books, in those very early books anyways. So it was in that letters page where we found out the names of Miles's parents. And I remember, like, for the longest time in like the wiki page of Rio and Jefferson, it would say in the trivia like the name was revealed in the letters page of Ultimate Comics Spider-Man #8, and
Wow.
so
Yeah.
thank Chris Kidd right here. This he is the reason we have those names in the existence.
Yep.
I had no idea. That's really cool. Wow,
Yep,
that's awesome.
he wrote it, but I proofread the letter, and I send it from my email, so I will take some credit as well. So
That's
there we
awesome.
go. So what we so saying B for great responsibility suit.
Yeah, that's what I said. So
Okay,
yeah.
all right. So that's a B. Next is the Across the Spider Verse suit. Uh, I don't know about you guys. I think this is a bit of a downgrade from the Into the Spider Verse suit, personally. In my opinion, because I just like the spray paint logo on that suit more than this. But it's still a really good looking suit, and I do like the red armpits, like the bleeding armpits, as they say in the movie. Uh, and I will say it's still better than most of the Miles suits in this game. So for that, I'll give it an A.
Um, so yeah, I like the suit. I kind of like this one a little bit more than Into the Spider
Okay.
Verse. Just because he's gonna do his own thing. So, um, I kind of agree. I do like the logo a little bit more on the first one, but I don't mind it here either. Like it still looks pretty good, and the armpits are always nice, and I just kind of like that it's pretty different from the first movie, which I wasn't really expecting that to be the case, but yeah, it's really good overall. So I'm gonna say S. It's right
Okay.
up there.
How about you, Carlos?
I'm also going S for Spider Verse on this one, and I really think Miles with just like a red line down the sides is like so iconic to me now. Like it's so unique, you know. Like I feel like the original Miles design is gorgeous. I love it. Um, but it kind of, if you put it side by side with like Superior and like Ben Riley, there's like similarities there. But this one is like so uniquely Miles. Like I think Chris Anka was like this was like an epiphany, like a genius stroke of like, what if it's just a bleeding armpit? Like I think it's so simple and effective, and I think it shows that like there's something to it when like Insomniac also kind of did like that line down the side of the arm. I mean, it's placed differently, but it's really an interesting progression of like Spider-Man designs. Like it's very unique. I really like it. That's an S for me.
All right, so that suit gets an S. All right, next is the Crimson Cowl suit. Uh, I just loved reading like one of the wiki pages for this suit, where it's like this suit was inspired by the Crimson Cowl from who is worn by Justin Hammer's daughter, Justine Hammer, and it's like, why is this a Miles suit? This is stupid. This is an F for me.
I'd probably say a D for this suit. I know we're not really huge on the hooded ones. I mean, it's not the most pretty thing ever, but it's not terrible. It's kind of the same thing with the Scarlet 3 suit, where, I'm swinging around and I'm just having fun playing around with this one, so I'm going to say a D.
All right, how about you, Carlos?
This is not my favorite. This is one of my least favorite of the hooded ones. I might go C. I don't recognize this one from anywhere, and I'm not like huge on it, so I'll go C.
All right, so that averages to a D. All right. Next is the Best There Is suit. Oh my goodness. This is dumb. I get it. Wolverine's the next game, but the thing is, there was a series of like What If comics where they made Miles a different superhero, and I mean, I thought it was a really dumb concept personally, and I don't know why they did it, but they did do a What If Miles was Wolverine. So there is a suit in the comics of a Wolverine Miles suit, but it's not this. So I'm going
It
F.
is.
You're going F. See, I'm going to go D for dumb. Kind of what you said.
Oh.
I mean, sure, the novelty of having, getting on the hype train of, oh, Wolverine's the next game, but again, it's weird seeing Wolverine swing around like that, and it's just I would never really put Miles in a suit like that. It's just not, I'm gonna say it again, but Miles, he does his own thing, and, and he's not Wolverine, so I'm gonna say D.
All right, how about you, Carlos?
I'm gonna go S for best
Oh.
there S.
Oh man,
I
so
mean,
How
S
do you average
versus a
that?
D and F. I guess that averages to like what, a C? I guess
A C and a half. I don't
C.
know.
I'll say C.
Okay.
We'll
I'm
see.
going.
Best there is a C.
I'm going S to boost the average because I really like this suit and I love the variant. I love the variant colors where it's like more Wolverine-y with the yellow and brown and the yellow and
Sure.
blue. I think it's a really fun, and it's right out of the What If book, like you said. I don't know. I'm going S to boost the average, but in my heart, it's B for best there is. You know.
Okay. All right. Well, next is the Dark Ages suit, aka the Spawn suit. I don't like it.
I don't like it either. But I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Okay.
I mean, he's kind of got some like, we're kind of in Miles has a few different like symbiote looking suits, and
Mm.
um, this one's fine. I'd probably put it in C tier. Um, and he still gets a hood, even with that. So, yeah, C tier for me.
How about you, Carlos?
I was gonna go B for books, but I don't really love this one. I mean, it's right out of Dark Ages, you know. Like I look at it and I picture like the Iban Coelho art, kind of.
Mm,
Although I think in that one it was like black and white.
I don't
But
remember.
but I'm not huge on it, so I'll go C as well.
I was gonna say D, but I guess we can average out to a C. I won't really fight you guys there. So Dark Ages is a C. All right, next is the Absolute Carnage suit. Doesn't really look like Carnage. I mean, he's got like a little bit of Carnage on him, but not a lot. That's what they should
It
have called.
actually it reminds me more of in 800 the 800 black suit where the eyes kind of pop out a little bit, which is kind of what's happening
Ah,
there. Um, I kind of like this suit. I'm gonna say B tier. And you do have the red variant, so it looks more like Carnage, the red and black. So yeah, B tier for me.
I mean, he's got like a little bit of Carnage, but it's like not a lot. I mean, it's certainly not absolute. That's what they should have called this suit. Little bit of Carnage.
A little bit Carnage.
I'm going F. How about you,
Wow.
Carlos?
Okay.
Yeah.
I might go C for Carnage, but when I when I think of Miles with the Carnage symbiote, I think of this one design where he had like 8 arms, like it looked crazy.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. This one is C for Carnage for me.
All right. So
Not
I
my
guess
favorite.
that'll average out to a C. All right. Next is the King in Black suit. So this is a reference to Null, who is the god of the symbiotes. He's like a guy in armor, and he's evil, but you know, there's some references to Null in the story itself, like with Venom, where like they combine a lot of stuff and ultimately go in a place that's very recent Venom comics, and that's what this is sort of in reference to. Like when Venom sprouts things and does a thing, that's a reference to this comic event. Uh, I don't know why Miles is wearing this, and I gotta be honest, it looks lame. Like, why does he have like big spiky shoulder pads? Like, it's just like a hodgepodge of symbiote stuff from like the last 5 years, and it just felt like they needed to give Miles symbiote outfits, despite the fact that he doesn't wear any in the game's story. And once again, similar to the Wolverine thing, there are symbiote Miles designs you could go with, but they're not present here. So this is a D.
I'm the same way. D for dumb. Yeah, not for me. I like I said, I like the Absolute Carnage one more. I just think it's more interesting. There's more going on there. This just looks kind of cartoony.
All right, how about you, Carlos?
This one gets an S for symbiote from me. I think this is
Whoa.
my this is my favorite of Miles' symbiote suits. I'm a huge fan of the Ryan Stegman, like Donny Cates run on Venom.
A great run.
And when I look at this, like that's exactly what my brain goes to. I love the Null Spiral, the Null Dragon. It has like the dragon spider logo on it, which
Hmm.
is dope. The shoulders very Null, and the armbands are very '90s Donny Cates Venom, vibes. I think this is really cool as like a comic book homage. So I like this one a lot. S for me. I don't know if I can bump you guys up to a C or something, but there you go.
I'm staying D. So,
Yeah, I am too.
all right, so that suit gets a D. Next is the Borakua suit. So for context with this suit, the way you unlock this suit is you do a bunch of side missions at the school Miles goes to, and the students all get together and make this suit for Miles, and it's just the suit with his heritage on it. But the fact that a bunch of students made it for him is kind of wild. But how do they know that he's Puerto Rican?
I don't know. I don't know, and that's what all really kind of brings this out because I think it's a cool suit. Like I think it's a cool idea. If it was just a bonus suit, I mean that'd be one thing, but it's the fact that there is an explanation for why this suit exists.
Yeah.
I love your comment though. That's like that. At least they got the flag right.
Yeah. At least, yep, that's true. At least they got the Puerto Rican flag right for this one.
I'm gonna say C tier for this one.
I don't know, because I mean, look, if anything, I think he kind of looks like Bucky capped, honestly, which is kind of funny. So
He does, yeah.
I'll say B. B for Bucky.
B for Bucky. Okay.
How about you, Carlos?
I'll go B for Boricua. Woo! I like the representation, and it's pretty. I don't know. I think it's nice.
All
Nice that
right,
it's
so
there.
that'll average out to a B then. All right, next is the smoke and mirrors suit, the Mysterio suit. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
Well, I'll go ahead and say, like, out of all the different like villain suits in the game, this one's by far my favorite one. Because one, it actually has a place in the story. He does wear this in the Mysterio mission, which is pretty cool. I wish he had the headphones, but other than that, like it's still really cool. I'm gonna give it B tier.
Okay, Carlos.
This is an S tier suit for me. This is so cool. One of my favorite like original Insomniac designs. I love that you get it after the Mysterio missions. It's so Mysterio-y. I dig it. I love the helmet, the colors. So it's just really cool original look. It pairs well with the Craven look for Peter, the villain costumes. And I think it surpasses the Daft Punk look. Like, this is super just cool and Mysterio-y and unique. And the variant looks like the White Power Ranger. So that also is cool. Yeah, I like the suit a lot. Yeah.
I think the suit sucks. I'm going F. I'm
Wow.
sorry. So I guess that'll average to a B. All right.
I'll take it.
Okay.
That's a win.
Next up is the most dangerous game suit. This is literally just a copy paste. It's the exact same as the Peter suit.
Literally the exact same. I'm gonna go D on this one. I think that's what.
Yeah.
I
What did
gave
we
to-
give the last time Peter's suit? Because whatever that one was, I say put it in a tier below because they just repeated themselves.
I mean, I don't mind that they repeat. I mean, it's just like they match it up, which is kind of cool. But it's the suit's copy and paste, and so is my thoughts. It's just it's fine. Whatever I gave the Peter suit, I'm gonna give the same one here. So I'm gonna give it.
We
a
gave
D.
it a D. So
Okay, I'm giving it a D. Yeah.
okay.
And
Carlos?
I'm perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine giving this a D. Because also, here's my thing. Miles, we never fight Craven as Miles. Like, that's a Peter boss fight, right?
I thought about
so
playing. So yeah.
yeah,
Well, Craven
but, like,
certainly he abducts Miles.
That's true. He at least interacts with him in the story. So you know what? You're right. Okay. I was like, why does Miles get this suit? I don't know. But okay. All right. I'll give it a D though. It's the
All
same
right.
thing that Peter got. So
Have Miles gotten like a negative suit though from Mr. Negative?
That
Maybe
would be
that's just
cool.
me. I think you should have
That
gotten that
would
one
be
instead
cool.
of this one.
I agree.
All right, so that one gets a D. All right, next up is the City Sound suit. I think the suit's funny. Like, just looking at it, it is an impractical suit. Like, there's no way Miles could fight crime in this suit, let alone like swing around or anything like that. But it's funny. It is a funny looking suit. Like, his pants are so high. Like, this is the funniest suit in the game for me. He's got like a silly little hat. He's got the high pants. It's funny. I mean, I don't know how he keeps his hat on, but you know what? That's his secret.
Yeah. No, I like the suit a lot. It's fun to play around with. It's fun to look at. The shoes are also amazing.
They
I'm
are
gonna say
amazing.
A tier on this one. It's just a really great suit.
All right,
I'll,
Carlos.
I'll I'll join you at A. I really like this suit, drip or drown, like you said in the comments there. Like it's it's drippy, you know. It kind of gives like 1920s Italian mobster, but it
Hmm.
also gives like jazz musician.
Yeah,
Um, and I think that's exactly what it's going for. I think it's exactly what it's going for. It's great. It's a great suit. Great suit.
there we go. And I'm right there with you guys. I'm going A as well. So that suit gets an A. All right, guys, we saved the best for last. We're ending strong on the most solid F I've ever seen in my entire life. This
Um,
I'm fighting
is
for it.
the evolved suit.
um, so I am actually not gonna say F.
Oh,
I'm raising it a little bit because I don't think it's a horrible suit. I think it's horrible in the context of the story. It makes no sense for Miles while there's an alien invasion going on and the whole city is falling apart. For him to just get a spark of imagination to make a new Adidas ad suit. Um, if it was just a bonus suit, I'd be okay with it because some of the variants I actually had a lot of fun playing around with. But it's just because this is canonically what he decides to make.
so here let me paint the scene of my experience with the suit. Like when it first showed up in the game. Like when Miles shows up in the suit and he's like, "Oh, I thought of like, since you got a cool new suit, I thought it was time for me to get a cool new suit." I swear Peter was a line away from saying, "Cool. Where's the cool new suit?" And then you are locked into this suit for the final mission, and it is a long mission.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Here's what gets me. It's the fact that like the top of his head is exposed. Like throughout the game, like many people make comments about Miles's haircut. Like so, it's established that he has a very distinguishing haircut. So it's like, why would he do this?
Um, yeah, it's still not one I would really use all that much. But I I gotta be honest, I don't hate it though. It's just I wish it wasn't actually part of the story. But I'm gonna throw a curveball. C for curveball. That's where I'm putting it.
All right, Carlos, what do you have to say about this?
I straight up like this suit. I mean, it's not perfect, and it definitely comes out of nowhere really randomly in the story. That's a very good point. I have no argument there. And my one critique of it would be the hair exposure. I think if, honestly, I think if his head was covered, like, I think that'd be a really cool suit. I think I'm going to put it at S because it's original. I'm going to put it at S just because. I like how it continues. Like again, part of what I've been liking about Miles designs is like the lines down the side. I like how this also has the line down the side. I like the blue down the side. I think it really pops and it matches like his blue electricity. I think that's cool. I like how the web pattern extends from the center. Like that's pretty unique. Kind of reminds me of silk almost. Um, and I really like the all white variant of it. I paired that with the anti venom suit a lot. So yeah, like I like this suit. Maybe it doesn't deserve S, you know. Maybe maybe it doesn't deserve S, but maybe I'll give it A, you know, because if you cover the head and you give it a better reason in the story, I think it's S. But obviously it doesn't have that, so I'll go A.
I'm disappointed in you two. Like I was hoping that we would all team together and trash this suit. Like I
It's
wanted to create,
colorful.
I wanted to create a new tier and put it in that. Like G, G is below F, so G for garbage. No, I will
You know
stick
what?
with my F.
I'm gonna say it's A for Adidas. That's what it is. A for Adidas.
Okay. So between my F, your C, and your A, a guess that averages to a C?
You lost. You're out, Norman.
I'm out. All right, so the evolved
I
suit.
started this company.
I started this company. All right, so that wraps it up, guys. We did it. We've graded all of the suits. We did it for you.
Missing the deluxe edition.
The people. We don't. No, we don't. I don't have the deluxe edition. I can't talk about the
we
suits.
don't do that here.
We don't do that here. All right, great. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. Chris, where can the people find you?
You can find me over on Instagram and Letterboxd and maybe Blue Sky if I ever post anything else. But yeah.
Yes, and Carlos, where can people find you?
I'm on Threads and League of Comic Geeks and a little bit Twitter, not using it as much anymore. Carlos loves SM for Spider-Man. That's my username on all three of those. So I'll see you there, I guess.
There you go. And I'll also take a quick moment to plug the Amazing Spider Slack. Carlos is there all the time, and he's just a great, positive, fun voice on there. Like, take Spider Twitter, which I know Spider-Man Twitter has a reputation. He's the opposite of that. He is a genuinely great voice. It was the main reason I wanted to have him in this conversation. Just to have a fun, positive voice to bounce off of. And he, on top of that, you're a patron of this show, so we appreciate your patronage. But for speaking for myself, I also appreciate your voice out there. More people could take a page from your book, frankly, Carlos. So I thank you for that.
Oh, well, thank you. That's so nice. More people should be like you and Chris, Alex. You guys are awesome. Thank you for inviting me. This was fun.
Our pleasure. And so thank you, patrons. This was an exclusive episode for you. Keep an eye out in the coming weeks. Dan will have a Spider-Man 2 full-on spoiler discussion coming up soon, and maybe a few fun surprises along the way. We'll see. But that's all I can say about that. So thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll see you all next time. Take care, everyone. Bye. And, of course, with great podcasts, there must also come the amazing Spider Talk.